3, 2, 1, and the shit show has begun. Welcome to the shit show. I'm your top shitologist, Mr. Dale Wheatley.
Tonight we're going to be talking shit.
My life's been a wreck for so long that I got my degree in
You got your doctorate?
shit. I got my doctorate in shit.
I
Feel
have a
the Angel's
question.
here. You are so fast. Feel the Angel's like, zoop.
I have a question for
I
you.
love it. I'm so glad to see you. Yes, you have a question for me, Angela.
Yes.
Hello.
As an author.
As an author. I think you should call me an author.
As an auteur.
Yeah, well, auteur is a totally different thing. But
Is
yes,
it?
yes.
What do I know? I don't know anything.
That's okay.
Okay.
You know so many things.
So, say that you got a blurb opportunity to get a blurb written for your book.
Yes.
By one of your most admired authors.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You're so excited.
Yeah,
It's
because it would
definitely
be
gonna be on
worth
the
so
book.
much money because like they're dead legends.
Yes.
Steinbeck and Hemingway.
Oh, no,
Just-
I don't mean literally.
Oh, so somebody can tell like Sally Rooney. I'd love me some Sally Rooney.
Okay.
Okay.
And say that the blurb that you got back was one word, horrific. And that's all you got? Would you be a little disappointed?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
If your favorite author called your book terrific?
Everything I could imagine would live within that word.
It's such an old-timey
Like,
word, though. Terrific.
Terrific. But it gives me every reason to believe that it's brilliant.
Okay, that's good.
Jacqueline's here. That's so nice to see you. Okay.
My mother is reading my mother really likes horror novels.
Yes.
She's the reason why I grew up reading Stephen King.
Right. Yeah.
And she is reading a new to her author.
Okay.
And she's a third of the way in. She can't put it down. So she had to text me and tell me about it. And I just looked up this author, and he has one of these blurbs from Stephen King on his book.
Oh.
And it just says terrific with a period. It's
Yeah.
punctuated with a period, not even an exclamation point. And I was like,
Okay, Dale,
oh.
could see you soon. That's really funny.
I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a bummer.
We have an author who lives behind me, who lives behind us, lives behind you. It's like when my brother, he would call me up and he'd be like, yeah, my dad. I'd be like, oh, your dad. Hilarious.
He'd tell you about his parent.
He'd tell me about his parent.
That's funny.
Danielle is here. Yes. This is starting off so nicely. So we have an author behind us.
Uh-huh.
He's published. He's really quite good. I'd have to look him up to remember the name of the book, but I read one of them. He's written 3 and his third is forthcoming.
I think it's titled Lucky You.
I think you're right. I think it might be Lucky You.
There's a bunch of books with that title, and I remember seeing his on our bookshelf.
So
with the others.
He's got a blurb from Stephen King on his book.
It's a sticker.
And it's a sticker, and it says more or less terrific.
I was amazed.
You're gonna love this
I was
one.
like, they just slap a sticker on it? It's not like, is this like some sort of, like, is this how he makes his money?
Exactly. Jenna's here, guys.
He sells stickers.
She's on TikTok for those who know her from TikTok.
Anyway, if anybody wants to know the book that my mother can't put down.
Yes.
It is titled Whistle.
Whistle.
By Linwood Barclay, which is like the kind of word you come up with on Scrabble when you can't piece a word together.
You know what's the most
your
interesting?
tiles.
You know what the most interesting thing about your mom is that she's gonna tell us that this is her favorite book. She's gonna be like, "This book is so fucking badass," and then Christmas will come, and she sends books almost every year.
Yeah, she sends her used books. It's a nice tradition.
And she'll send I know, but she's gonna send a book that's like about a flower. Or like, just something I've never fucking heard of.
Like she'll send me a fucking book with stories about dogs because she knows that I work with dogs. I'm like,
I'm
not interested.
Not the book that like she found revolutionary.
Anyway, it's really funny because on Amazon, the title of the book is Whistle, a chilling horror journey of a mother and son into a new town, haunted trains, and unsettling nightmares, perfect for summer reading. Like that's all in the title.
I gotta do better.
You have to make it.
I gotta do better. That's
It's a paragraph.
Oh well, it's
perfect
working.
for summer reading. By Linwood Barclay.
I gotta do better. Guys, how's the sound today? Is it the best it's ever been? Is today the best it's ever been? I think it should be. I worked really hard, and
you really did.
I also anyway, I just hope it's really good. I hope it's getting better now. We're yeah, cool. That's great to hear. Erica's here. Dude, this is awesome. So glad you guys are here. So the Karen retrial is wild, but I also do want to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff going on, including Diddy, just to the extent that it's such a fucking horror show. So we'll get into that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I also am planning on. I told everyone that I was planning on reading my book live, and I am going to do that. Reading my book live.
Oh.
And part of the reason why I am working so hard on getting the sound right and like making a lot of sacrifices right now is because
that's important.
I want to read the book, and I want to find a way to make the book available. This reading available. To people in a way that doesn't like ruin the possibility of book sales completely. Do you know what I mean? And also like, I don't know, we'll have to figure it out, but I'm going to make sure everybody on, anyone interested here will know when I'm writing it. And Jenna, you are not alone. I just want you to know, Jenna's on TikTok. There's only one person on TikTok. You are not alone. and that is my message to you. Because not only are Angela and I here, say hi to Jenna, Angela.
Hi, Jenna.
You are not alone, Jenna.
It is so nice to see you.
We have 6 people on YouTube, and all of them are with you.
That's
you
right.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
I won't let you go. It's very dramatic.
Dale was really cute today. Dale, you've had a very hard day. So I wasn't sure what the mood was going to be like today, but I took a shower, I came out, and I asked you. You were
I'm miserable. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I've had a miserable day.
I know. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like tonight for you, whether you'll be like grumpy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I asked you, I was like, hey, so what do you want to talk about today? And Dale did not skip a beat. Like he literally answered so fast. He said, alpha males.
Well, I mean,
and I was like, all right, let's do it.
In some glorious news, in an absolute glorious news, one of them Tate fellows.
Oh yeah.
Was indicted in the UK.
Yes.
So now they're indicted in 2 different countries.
No, not just 2.
Are they indicted in Florida too? Because I don't think they are.
I think it's several countries.
Well, I know it's Romania, and I know it's now the UK, and the UK has said
keep up with them, and they're globe-trotting and attacking women of every nationality.
The UK has said that they're going to wait in line. That they will not try him or them. I think it's both of them. They won't do anything until they have completed the things in Romania. But I have to find this video for you guys because
I hope they fucking throw away the key, man, because those guys are obviously unpredictable and violent everywhere they go. I'm sorry, what?
The scourge of humanity. I'm sorry, scourge. They're the scourge of humanity.
That too, yes.
They're the absolute worst thing that could happen. And
like, what's your fucking problem, dude? Like, you evade justice in one place and then you're doing the same fucking behavior in the next place. Like, what's the matter with you?
By the way, I'm going to be trying to curb my F-bombs.
Am I supposed to curb
No,
my
you're
F-bombs?
not, but you reminded me that I'm supposed to.
Why are you curbing your F-bombs? Are you worried you're going to get canceled for F-bombs?
No. I would never get canceled for F-bombs.
I think that's allowed.
I was just thinking about, like, I was like, wow, man, my whole, like, son of a trucker has just really been coming out lately.
You're worried about your foul language?
My F-bombs. I feel like it's just too much. I feel like I could dial it back a little bit.
You want to wash your mouth out with soap?
No,
Did your parents do that?
Once. One time. My mom.
My fucking parents did that.
Yeah, one time. It was the most offensive thing ever.
I know. I remember.
It did work. I did cry. I cried.
I think about it every time I'm working with a dog who doesn't want a thing to happen. And I'm like, oh, right. Like, this is a small creature and I am a giant looming person who is making it do something. And it reminds me of the time that I was also a small creature and I had giant parents that would try and shove a bar of fucking soap in my mouth. And it didn't work either because obviously.
Because you're filthy.
I didn't learn the lesson.
You're a filthy mouthed.
What good does it do?
Woman.
It's just child abuse.
So that's pretty cool.
What's cool?
The Tates.
Oh, that they're in trouble again?
Yeah. Well, it's just
I'll
so
celebrate when
exciting.
they're locked up and then nobody else can get hurt.
I will be there with you. So, yeah, this is great. There's like, so let me see.
You know what's really insidious about these 2 people?
No, tell me.
So
everything.
I don't know if it was a last victim because there's so many, right? We can't keep track. But there was one victim who said that her experience with being victimized by him started with love bombing.
Right.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah. Yes. This
where
is like, this is where you're like the dream guy. You're the dream guy. You're sensitive. You care.
Exactly.
You want. And you're leaving notes. You're leaving notes.
Yes.
You're like, did you get my note?
This whole thing.
What? I left it. You didn't get it? It was under the pillow this whole time. And then they check under the pillow like there's a fucking tooth fairy every day. I said it. I just said I was trying to curb it.
Okay, but listen.
I'm listening.
So her experience was that she got love bombed. And I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. Because, we all wonder why these guys have any proximity to women anymore at all, right? Because obviously they've got a really bad reputation.
Yes.
But I think what they do is they convince their dates that their persona online is just like a fake persona.
Is a fake persona?
And that they're actually not like that. They're not these like, shameless misogynists. That
sure.
They're like, oh, that's how
Pee Wee Herman.
That's how I make my money online.
Pee Wee Herman.
What does Pee Wee Herman have to do about it?
Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh. Yeah. Just like that.
Wow.
Just like Pee Wee Herman.
I apparently totally frustrated her in that moment.
Yeah.
So glad she wasn't holding something sharp. So my apologies. I loaded this up. I said I wanted to talk about alpha males. So here's some alpha male stuff right here.
Yeah, it's so funny you were sincere. I thought you were joking because you said it so fast.
Alpha males. So, look, the Tate's got, but this guy, this guy happened and I was like, dude, I gotta I don't know if you're going to hear this, Jenna, so you're going to have to bear with me. You are not alone. You're not alone. I care about you. All right. Check this guy out. This is alpha male. Alpha male. This is how to be an alpha male.
Are you even aware the way you hold your hands in your pockets, they ruin your first impression? And most of you do this. Looks insignificant and it lowers your status. So to fix it, I want you to do the thumb display. So next time you're standing around or you're taking a photo, display your thumbs. It makes you look more authoritative and more presentable. You're welcome.
I'm totally going to do that from now on.
How come I don't get to hear it?
Because I don't have a monitor out that works right now because I'm of this new sound rig. So it's only the people who are here that are.
Well, now you're gonna have to explain it to me because I have no idea.
So it's an alpha male, and he's like he teaches how to be an alpha male, and he just came out and he talked about how he put his hand like how you put your hands in your pocket.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, and you have to have your thumbs out. You have to have your thumbs out of your pants. If you have your thumbs in your pants, you're basically
you're a beta male.
Yeah, a beta male. You're a fucking beta male. Okay, here we go. Here he keeps going. Here we go, guys.
Stop ruining your first impression, reaching down, trying to grab items out of your bag. The biggest mistake that I see guys are hunching over and start digging in it like a little troll. Lowers your first impression. Grab the bag without bowing down over it, then place it on a bench. You don't have to bend over, hunch over it. Grab the item, continue your workout. The way you open a water bottle can absolutely ruin your first impression.
Hey, I'm just saying right now, I'm prefacing right now that I agree with the bottle opening one. He has a bottle opening one right now, and you open it from the bottom. You don't open it from the cap like a little baby. You grab the cap and then you turn the bottle.
Can you imagine living with those many rules?
Hang on, let me play it for them.
Impression.
Listen, you should take my...
Stop. Do it right. You gotta grab a bottle from the bottom and untwist it from the bottom.
Okay, just this is only going to be a couple more seconds, so just.
No, I know, but just in the future, like.
Okay, I'm working through all the kinks. Just let us finish. There we go. You guys got to watch this. This is only another less than 10 seconds.
Do it right. You gotta grab a bottle from the bottom and untwist it from the bottom.
Yeah.
And then take a drink.
I don't think I've ever, by the way, I don't think I've ever opened a bottle from the bottom in my life.
It's not the safe way to do it.
I wonder if I wonder if he ever wet himself doing that.
Like, I think if I was if I was interviewing for a bar job and I opened bottles that way, I wouldn't get the job. It's a really good way to drop your bottle.
So Angela's right? Like Angela's, and by the way, Jenna, thank you. And who's with us now? Magnesia. Whoever's with us, Dr. Susan is here. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Susan, on the YouTube, on the TikTok. I'm this close to having both of them synced up, and you're going to have a totally awesome YouTube experience with all the good sound and the audio and the video piped in. So thank you for your patience. I think I'm only days away from that. So back to the chat about alpha males. I mean, can you imagine like you were just the way you said it all? Just like, can you just the idea that this guy has any preoccupation with this, or that they think that they could package this up as a way to exploit people out of their money is wild to me.
Yeah, there's also it's interesting too because there's no way that women are noticing this, so they're just doing it to impress each other. So what they're doing is they're giving you a set of rules to live by, and then you're going to go around policing everybody else in your midst, all the other dudes. And then you'll know who's in the same club by how they open your bottle.
Exactly.
Open their bottle.
Exactly.
It's like, it doesn't serve any fucking purpose.
No, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. Yeah, Dr. Susan's double platforming. Oh, you're the best, man. You're you're giving us double scores. You got double scores. Double dipping. That's what we call that, right? Isn't that double dipping? So alpha males, man, the Tate brothers are once again wanted, and they're wanted for a very serious crime. It's the crime of rape. They're not, it's like straight up, and trafficking. So, I'm super excited about that. And I can't help but be excited for, the idea that their victims, might finally get their day. That's pretty exciting because it has to be pretty fucking terrible. Ugh. It has to be so terrible. If you're a victim of theirs, it has to be terrible to know that, to see them fly from Romania to the United States at the behest of the president. Like that's just got to be like, I know what I went through with these giant celebrities being on TV and, being adored and everyone sure that they're the greatest people on earth while they're literally like, well, I'm literally quite substantially under their foot,
Yeah.
Being squashed by them. And this, of course, is much worse. I mean, the level of severity here is just almost beyond comprehension. And so, I don't know. It's interesting, I think. I'm excited about it.
We'll see what happens. It's a bummer that they have to wait. That the UK has to wait to try him.
I mean, there's no, how else can you do it, right?
Have they been extradited to Romania? Like,
they are in Romania.
So it's beginning.
They weren't extradited. They went on their own, of their own volition. They came here, they hung out, had a couple of dinners, probably raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the weirdest ass backwards fucking shit you ever saw in your life.
Right.
These guys are flying in here and they're making like, loads of cash and then flying out with this money and wealth. And presumably that comes with power, at least to the extent that they can get a better defense than I ever could. Do you know what I mean?
I'm so thirsty.
For something besides water, I hope. So anyway, alpha males. I don't understand the whole thing. It's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to want that. Like I can understand that you're whatever you were born into a world where you the Little Richard syndrome, and it's not a syndrome, and you know how I feel about. And for those of you who don't know what Little Richard is, it's the Peter, the buddy, the little guy, the handy dandy, the penis. The guys with Little Richards.
Okay.
Like those guys, I can understand like how they start looking for external ways in which they can express something that like sort of like, I guess in some way either masks or, there are jokes, you see these people, we live in the South where people drive around in trucks that are far too big for them. And we talk about how, sorry about your Little Richard.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's like, I don't think it has anything to do with them physically. I think it has to do with with a deep insecurity in their own value.
Yes. Do you really?
Yes.
I don't. You think the Tate brothers have a deep insecurity of their own?
Have you heard Andrew Tate talk?
No.
He is constantly seeking approval. Constantly. Huh. Everything he says is self-aggrandizing. I don't think he actually has a healthy sense of self-esteem. He's always working
Donald Trump
out.
Doesn't have this problem.
Well, yeah, he's a narcissist. That's different. I think that's also maybe a compensation too. Whatever. I'm not a psychiatrist. What the fuck do I know?
It gets deep, right? You start getting in there. You're like, oh damn, this is messy and deep.
What I mean though is that like you wouldn't want. Okay, you, for instance, who
me.
is a person who is confident.
Yes.
Who has a self-esteem that is healthy and has served you well,
reasonably.
And who knows how to navigate the world in a way that you feel you're putting yourself forward effectively. Okay.
Yes.
You don't need to become an alpha male. No. You're not interested in that, even the concept of it.
I don't understand it.
You don't understand it.
No, I don't understand it.
You have no use for it.
None.
Here we have it. I think that's all it is. And then you like put on there how easy it is. You know how they said that the whole Southern strategy was about turning working class whites against their coworkers and neighbors?
Yes.
Because
worked.
It worked, yes.
We see it on our. We see it right on our block, right here.
It's because it's really, really tantalizing to tell somebody that they're superior to somebody else,
right?
In a way that nobody really has any control over. It's just been bestowed upon them. That it's nothing that they have to change or work for.
Right.
So if you feel like you're superior just by virtue of being a man,
yes,
then you're insecure because you don't have a healthy self-esteem and you weren't given the tools in order to move through the world and put yourself out there the way that you're supposed to, right? That would benefit you.
Right.
Then you're going to feel very secure in this like woman hating, woman controlling, empowering, being empowered, overpowering women, all of that stuff, you know?
Yes.
The whole alpha male thing, is it based on alpha wolves? Because that was so thoroughly debunked.
Well, I mean, that doesn't change.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but
it's just so crazy.
I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't matter if it were built based on something defunct. I mean, what is any of the madness that we're experiencing now based on that is, that is sound?
What I love about that so much is the way that the alpha wolf study was debunked was because the guys who did the study realized that what they were observing were wolves in captivity. And wolves have naturally, they have a really, really broad range. Like their territory is fucking massive. Have you ever seen one of those maps of wolf territories and how they don't overlap? They're huge. It's
they roam
acres and acres and acres and acres.
I mean, miles and miles and miles and miles. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
So what's really hilarious is that the exact same type of dudes who act in this manner and who are trying to make themselves into the alpha wolves, alpha men, right?
Right.
Are confined and stressed out. The reason why the wolf study failed was because they're like, oh, we're observing really stressed out wolves. They're more confined than they would be naturally, and they're all acting out in aggression because they're super stressed out. And so wolves don't naturally behave that way. And so do you see what I'm saying about these men? They're so confined that they adopt this idea of the alpha male. And it's like, dude, you could just set yourself free from that and act naturally instead of.
Totally.
I don't know.
It's. I mean, the trap is money. It's always money. It's always about making money. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing is always about money. By the way, I think some new folks perhaps are joining us on TikTok right now. Hello. Off camera is Angela, and if you want to see her, she's on our YouTube channel right now. We are multi-streaming in a weird way until the TikTok. I'm working with TikTok technically to get things sorted out, and until then, you won't be able to see Angela, but that will be the case in a couple of days. We thank you for joining us, though. Alpha males are, and the whole culture is just an absolute money grab, and also a shield.
It's a symptom of illness.
It's a shield for people and an excuse for people to behave in a manner that they feel they're entitled to, and that and that has victims.
If you think you're inferior, being told that you're superior is really tantalizing. So yeah, they're like, you could just screw your bottle, unscrew your bottle differently, and become the superior one in your group.
He didn't see it, but he did this bag picking up thing.
Oh, don't pick up your bag like a girl. Is that what he's teaching?
Yeah, he picked up his bag in a certain way.
And he was like, not like this.
No, yeah, it was so stupid. It was the most ridiculous thing ever.
You're gonna notice next time you pick up a bag, you can be like, damn it, I'm a beta male.
Well, he didn't. If you bend over, I guess if you bend over, you're exposed in some way. Maybe I think that's his problem. He's like, hey, you know what could happen now, don't you? So he goes down with it in a squat, basically, and almost like a pistol. A pistol. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
When you do one leg, and he goes down like that, and then picks it up, and puts it on the bench.
So you're gonna
then opens the bag from the bench, and then enters it, and so now he has strength, and he's protected. I guess I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Because I'm just bending over and getting whatever I got to get out of that bag as quick as I can.
Tear your knees for the patriarchy.
Yeah. Fuck the patriarchy keychain on the ground. That's what I say about that. Anywho.
What are you doing with your clickety clicks?
Well, I was going to line up something, but I'm going to line up something for another moment later because it didn't work out just the way I want to.
She's snoring.
And I don't care. Guilty Angel says that Angela is beautiful. Dale is so lucky to have her.
Thanks.
I agree on all counts.
Don't look at me anymore.
I'm the luckiest guy. Robin Williams' Popeye had the most coked up film set, and everyone was stoned, said former studio boss. They were shipping cocaine in film canisters.
I mean,
it's a fucking it's a children's show.
Oh, come on, but it's obvious.
It's just amazing how many children's show are like wildly drug induced. Like we got Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And now you got like Popeye, the film set, and like they're like just pumping the 80s through their nose.
Why do you think that we take drugs at all? It's because we want to be more childlike. You know, it sucks being
cocaine.
Oh yeah, totally.
How does that make you childlike? No way.
Oh, come on. You don't remember when you were a kid that you would like entertain yourself by spinning around in circles and like drumming on something?
That's hilarious.
And like leaping,
grinding your jaw
for no reason.
Fucking carpet diving. All good times.
Yeah, that's why you take uppers, because you want to feel like a kid again. I'm not saying that people like rationally think that. I'm saying that that's what the drive is.
I believe in cannabis, Guilty Angel. Guilty Angel says that cannabis is good for you. By the way, she said we're both great together. Said Guilty Angel. You see that, Angela?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
What, did you doubt it?
No. Erica says, I think most of these guys take up this stance because they are deeply insecure. So she agrees with you.
Yeah. It's so weird that everybody can see it but them. They think they're tricking everybody, but they're not.
Guilty Angel says, I would charge the Tates with crimes against humanity. I wish that was the case. It's so interesting because like I am not a religious person at all, particularly as it relates to any kind of, organized religion. Stuff frightens me. I do. Oh, live visibility is restricted because we're talking about they're gonna kick me off. If they kick me off of TikTok, come over to YouTube. It's why we started the channel there in the first place, because I can't just talk like a human being on TikTok. So if TikTok kicks you off, come over and join us over on YouTube. I'll keep coming back to TikTok until they figure out that I'm not, I'm just talking like a human being. But I can't take it anymore. It's like, God, I just want to be able to speak, bro.
Yeah.
Where were we before TikTok started throwing warnings at me and dodging me out of my fucking rhythm? God, man.
I can't remember.
It's like, can you be creator friendly, please?
You read a comment and you were answering that.
Well, I was talking about Guilty Angel, I guess, charging with crimes of humanity. And that's what I was saying, is that I'm not a religious person, but I do believe, I highly believe in that we are just all one thing. I believe that everything that we do to each other and to others, we do to ourselves. I do believe that. I believe that spiritually. I don't believe that there's any separation in the universe from anything. I believe we are all in the same consequence. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Living the same consequence. It's so frustrating. It's like, why, bro? Why? You're literally hurting yourself. This is how it feels every time I see it. This is why the stupidity grows every time I see people like Diddy or even Leo and Toby. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you bringing this harm upon your own self?
My favorite little tidbit about the Diddy saga is that he got this massive tattoo on his back.
Diddy did?
Yes.
Oh.
Of this, like...
Praise Leo?
No, he has a massive tattoo of this, like, African deity.
Okay.
This Orisha. I don't know if it's an Orisha. Whatever. African deity that is the protector of women.
Oh.
And ever since he...
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
This was just before...
Ever since
Cassie filed her lawsuit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever since he showed everybody on his social media this massive neck to butt tattoo of this deity, he's had a very, very difficult time being held accountable for his crimes against women.
I guess you shouldn't mock deities. I guess you shouldn't mock the gods. Do you know?
I think he literally
whomever these gods may be, maybe you should not mock them.
I think he thought that it was a protection. It would have been protection for him.
Oh my God. Stefan just said, so you're saying technically then that you dipped your own Richard in almond milk. Or technically.
That's a big test of your beliefs.
No, but technically Toby dipped his Richard in my milk.
Or in his own almond milk.
Oh, in his own milk. That's what I'm saying. There it is. No, Toby drinketh from the same cuppeth.
Guilty Angel's laughing because I said that he got that tattoo neck to butt.
It is a good one.
It's huge.
Neck to butt. It's not even a back tattoo.
He's like sitting shirtless poolside or something, and that covers his whole back.
Angela pulls out genius shit all the time, by the way. Stay tuned.
Oh man.
All the
I follow a lot of social media witches, and as soon as he posted that, they were like, "Oh, damn," because he already had a reputation, you know.
Of course, yeah.
They're like, "That's not good for you, bro."
didn't the videotape break before she filed? I think it did.
Yeah, I think so.
Stefan says, first of all, Cosmic was here. Good to see you again, sir. Until the psychosis hits is a really interesting. And he was talking. This is his comment. Unfortunately, came. I should have gotten to it earlier. When we were talking about, we were probably talking about how,
drugs.
Yeah, I'm not sure until the psychosis hits. I'm sorry, I fucking got.
We were talking about how drugs are fun. I think that's why your life got restricted.
And then yeah, for sure.
Until
and
the
then,
psychosis
I was talking
hits.
about cocaine because it's got a name. Yeah, it's not my fault.
Okay, I know, but you're talking about this comment.
Yeah. So Stefan, well, so I kind of missed that up. So Stefan then followed up with, they're usually trying to sell you something, and that's just it. Like there's a monetary, like some kind of monetization involved, especially on the American side of things, but pretty much around the.
I'm confused. Who's trying to sell you something?
Alpha males.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're skipping subjects a lot.
Well, I'm dealing with some of the comments because I flew past
Just
into
be
Robin
a little
Williams.
bit more clear because I'm struggling to follow.
Angela, you have to follow along.
No, I'm trying.
Okay, are we caught up? You know where I'm going? Because I agree that they usually are trying to sell you something as alpha males. It's always like, and I didn't know that they have these courses they put in their sales funnel. What's his name? All of this capitalism shit drives me crazy. I'm talking about Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson is a marketing
the marketing
guy.
He does a sales funnel.
Yeah.
These guys are so predatory. Like this guy, he's this like devout Christian guy who wants to help the world.
I think he's Mormon, but yeah.
Well, Christian is Mormon.
Yeah. I know it's just it's a different flavor.
It's a denomination, yeah.
It's a different flavor that I feel like is more.
Because he wears the magic underpants, right? Like that's a magic underpants.
It's more
kind of
informative if you clarify.
Anyway, this guy will take your money, bro.
Yeah.
Like if it's all the money you have, he will take it, and he will take it gleefully.
Multi-level marketing schemes are like a huge problem in Mormonism, by the way. I had no idea, but
Is
that's
that true?
usually yes. There's like a ton of like Mormon crime shows that all revolve around the victims and the offenders being involved in multi-level
It all
marketing.
started with a friendly little Amway meeting.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They trick each other all the time. It's nuts.
Mary Kay.
It's like a culture of trickery.
Anyway, I think I lost my train of thought on it all.
You were talking about how predatory these guys are for trying to sell stuff.
They find a way to turn it, they monetize it and take money out of your life. And
you were talking about
Richard,
before you were talking about Richard Brunson being especially kind of like
what I was talking about is
troubling because he doesn't care if people can afford his courses. He just
right. So where I was going was that they set up funnels so they can get the most money out of you. And these alpha male courses, they sell for like $15,000 weekend seminars. Like they do like big ticket where these rich, and it's like all these fucking like tech nerds or whatever, these guys with thin arms, they're commonly referred to as twinks, these guys, they're showing up going, I ain't no twink, and they got all their identity issues and dealing with their biological, their biological hatred, of themselves. And these guys come in here and then they like swoop up and scoop up their money, and they're just beginning the funnel. They're paying the $15,000 for the weekend. And to basically get screamed at and then learn how to scream back.
Also, the end result is that they get even more alienated. Yeah. Because nobody wants to fucking hang out with any of these dudes.
Well, no, because they end up becoming indoctrinated into a club and then they just hang out with each other. That's fun. That's
I know.
Fun.
Like when did you read about how the Proud Boys have like tiers and like you can climb up to the next tier?
We're not talking T8. T-E-A-R-S, right?
No, Tiers.
No, yeah.
Where they
have no tiers.
You can climb up to the next tier by like apparently drinking piss or something. Like they make you do really humiliating shit. And I'm like, why the fuck would anybody want to be?
Also kind of homoerotic too, you know?
It all is, dude. It all is. They all dress in the same outfits. You know? I just I don't know why anybody would want to be in a club like that. Not me. Not for me.
No, God, it's horrible. Are you monitoring the comments? Because I think that's my problem. Is I'm monitoring the comments, and I usually don't, and so then I get a little more distracted when I do that because I got my brain broken a little bit, slightly broken brain.
Guilty Angel says, I have cute tattoos, but not like Diddy, and I'm way hotter than Diddy. LOL.
Yeah,
I'm sure you are, dude. I was always really surprised that he was always treated like some sort of fashion icon or something, because he always looked like expressionless and kind of like, I don't know. I was like, who made this guy a star?
What's up, Tanner?
What do I know about it, though?
Tanner joined the YouTube channel. I am days away from getting the YouTube channel to or from the TikTok channel. I'm sorry. Tanner's joined us on the TikTok channel. Jennifer Arbuckle is here saying Matthew Hussey does something similar for women who are looking for love.
Oh, that's another scam.
So it's like a predatory thing where they they're setting up. This is interesting. I would love to.
Do you remember
I would love to deep dive in this stuff.
We saw that documentary about the twin flame scams. That was like multi-level marketing.
Yes.
Where they were trying to pair people up, and then they started to like psychologically manipulate them.
Oh my God.
Horrific. That's another thing too. Yeah.
This is why I'm broke. You see, because I can't do these things. I can't find my way around. Like it's the same thing. It's a funny thing because like this will sound silly, but it's really actually not. Like I got dragged into this kind of shit as a salesman. Like I remember I was selling radio for a big giant, Fortune 500, maybe even Fortune 100 company. I was selling radio ads, and I walked into this jeweler, and my pitch was so compelling that this guy dropped serious six-figure money down, and he sold he dropped multiple over $300,000 was the deal that he ended up spending on, and he sold $15,000 worth of goods. Like I could barely live with myself. I'm telling you, like I was like, and he was like, what am I going to do? And I pitched him, my whole pitch was like, why do you think Coke advertises? Why do you think Coca-Cola, I know Coca-Cola. So why do you think Coca-Cola advertises? And why do you think you can't or don't have to if Coca-Cola still has to? And that was it. I changed his total mind about anything about to do with that. I fucking changed his mind so hardcore that the man kept bleeding money into and I was telling him to stop. I was like, you should stop. It didn't work. And this was like when he sold 5,000 worth. Point being that everybody, like it's a scam everywhere. Just always a scam. And like my boss sent me out with this kind of an inspiration to tell these stories. It was my own story I made up, but it was inspired by my job, which was to manipulate these people into extracting their money. My job was to extract their money for a small percentage of it. Nighty night, Dale. Go to sleep. Sleep well. I fucking couldn't take it. I had to stop. Couldn't do it. And every sales job I ever got, there was like another version of that. And this is the same shit happening here. Except in this situation, they're even worse because they're preying on things like love or the insecurity of having thin arms or a small penis. It's wild.
I think that you can make it if you're selling something like if you're selling knowledge in a way that's easier for people to learn from, because everybody can learn anything on their own. But if you package it up and save their time or something, you can sell that. You can also sell like training, I don't know, just being an education salesman is like a righteous thing to do, like that's not predatory.
No, there's good sales jobs. You know what I mean?
There's people who are really predatory in dog training too. Like the reason why I became a dog trainer was because we spent money on a dog trainer that fucking ruined my dog, and it took years for me to learn how to put him back together again. It was horrible. It was horrible, and I was like, I cannot believe that there's people calling themselves professionals who have like whole websites and
have
reviews
the
and
gall
everything.
to take $100 for an hour.
And
like it's like, where did you what?
And gave me like the worst advice, and I followed it. I even like bought DVDs from this other trainer that was doing it, and I was like, man, this isn't fucking working. And then I learned how to become a trainer so I could fucking fix the problem myself.
We're gonna get to Karen Read, by the
way. There's a guy right now who's setting up his whole thing that he's selling is he's like diagnoses the problem of like your dog barks at people on walks or whatever, and your dog is super stressed out. What it needs is a vagus nerve reset.
Oh my God.
Like, there's this veterinary behaviorist that posted about it online and like showed all of his pictures and was like, I'm literally a veterinarian who specializes in canine behavior, and I do not know what the fuck this guy is talking about. He's like, how are you gonna reset the vagus nerve and somehow magically make your dog's problems better? Who knows? But he's gonna charge you money to lie to you about it.
It's fucked up.
I know, you could just make up words, dude, and people will buy it.
So I do want to cover Diddy a little bit just because I felt bad because I always put him on our thumbnail and then I don't really get to him, and I want to make sure that we do get to him today. I did read a little bit about today's testimony, and it's just such a horror show. I mean, this is a part of why this case is like, to me, almost like it's so fucking NC-17. It's unbelievable. Like, it's just really bad. But today they had their witness was Mia. She is one of the victims. She described.
Wait. I'm sorry. NC-17?
Yeah.
I'm caught up on that. Don't you mean like X-rated?
All right. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you can't get in.
Oh, you know? Okay. But if you're 17, you can see NC-17, right?
NC-17 is like the worst rating that you can get before you get X-rated.
Oh, but X-rated is the worst rating.
I'm not sure this is what I was going for in this part of the conversation.
Like, that's very specific. What does he mean by that?
So the bottom line is that where was I? You threw me off the rails on that one.
Mia.
So this person is she's not even using her real name. She's using a pseudonym, and her name is Mia. And I could barely describe the things that she described happening to her, but she was sexually assaulted on multiple occasions and she was abused, and he would throw things at her. In one instance, he threw a computer at her. In another instance, he threw turkey meat.
She had to tell the jury that
turkey meat.
He throws turkey meat.
It reminded me of this Tobey Maguire rumor I heard, where Tobey, he had this assistant. I don't know if this is true. Just want to put that forward. This is not firsthand information. But it was somebody who knows that I have. And if you don't know who I am, by the way, my name is Dale Wheatley, and I have been in a dispute with Tobey Maguire. He was once a friend of mine. I've been in a dispute with him for 30 fucking years. I think he's one of the worst people that ever lived. It's just an opinion. He had an assistant, and he had this assistant go out and get the perfect banana for him.
Allegedly.
The perfect banana. So he sent this, and this was a daily task. Every day, the assistant had to show up with one perfect banana. And if it was an imperfect banana, the assistant had a problem. And this is a culture. So
this is like a culture thing. This is about control and power.
So this Mia, by the way, I guess I didn't clarify this. She was his assistant. She was his personal assistant from 2009 until 2017. She described the process as being the highs were really, really high and the lows were really, really low. That's basically a quote. That's almost a quote. And so obviously these lows were like these assaults upon her body and upon her character, mentally abusive. But as an assistant, this is not so uncommon. Look, Diddy's is obviously an extreme of everything in Hollywood or in show business in general.
Yeah, that's why he's on trial.
But exactly. But, you know, I sat amongst like awesome, like huge movie executives. And I mean huge. I'm talking like movie executives who are at the top of the game even today. Okay? Big, huge, fucking massive people in Hollywood. And I'm sitting in one dinner comes to mind in Hollywood. There's about, I don't know, 6 of us. And 4 of the party are these massive executives with assistants. So when I say six of us, there's 6 of us who are actually there, and then they have their assistants with them. And one of these big, massive producers just sat there and just verbally abused this assistant almost the entire night. Doing shit like this. Who do you work for, Angela? Who do you work for? I work for you. Who? Say my name. We're sitting around. We're having dinner. We're having drinks. And this guy is literally taking all of our attention and putting it on his assistant as he badges her and humiliates her in front of us all.
I would have thrown a dinner roll right at his face just to see how he would react among all his cool friends.
It's as if
I would have just been like, it's worth it just to see his face.
Yeah.
And watch him restrain himself
Yeah.
because all of his friends are there.
She did get snarky at the end of it, by the way, because he'd taken it so far that she was like, she said something like, "I'm about to quit," and then he he literally
and then he was
at
like,
fucking dinner,
just joking, right?
Yeah.
I pulled one of those. Fucking asshole. That sucks, man.
Guilty Angie says that Toby was horrible in The Great Gatsby. Yeah, well, you know, he just got, it's a favor from a friend, that movie, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh man, I wouldn't last a minute in a job like that if I had a boss that berated me.
So Diddy's assistant, Mia, as she's called, recounted some really horrific shit. And she is one of the government's witnesses relative to her charges, to the charges against him. It's so interesting because I'm not exactly sure what is, you know, what constitutes, like, in this testimony, what actually constitutes, like, a lot of times I'm like, wasn't that just him being mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure, like, where's the crime? Where's the racketeering? Where's the whatever?
I think what you're describing is assault.
I don't know if it was, like, it might be just like,
you're not allowed to...
I know the difference between assault. I know that there's...
like, you can't just throw deli meat at somebody.
No. I don't know that it was deli meat. I'm going with the turkey leg on that.
Oh, really? You thought it was a turkey leg?
They said turkey meat.
Turkey meat? I just thought it was like he didn't like a
like
sandwich.
He opened up his Subway. He was like, ah!
I'm vegetarian.
She's like walking with like a slab of mustard slathered
cold cut,
fucking cold cut on her face,
sliding down her face,
sliding down slowly as her face.
Yeah,
be exactly. Like Toby would make her like not wipe it. You can't take it off. You're not gonna wipe that off. That's Toby. And why would I say that about Toby? Well, because Toby, like, you know, he asked a woman to jump on a table and bark like a seal in front of his friends during a poker game. That's the kind of people in fucking Hollywood. The misogyny in Hollywood is just off the chain. It's just off the chain. Like, it's amazing. Like, you know, there were these moments in history where women stood up for themselves and they fought back. It really should be coming to that point again pretty damn soon. There should be coming another breaking point soon where women have to have had enough. You know, Roe v. Wade gets overturned. You know, Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, et cetera, et cetera. It's just getting a little out of hand. I'm just saying. I'm ready for another woman revolution. Let's go.
People sure do act like assholes when there's like always chairs everywhere that could get like smashed across your face. You know? Yeah. Like, we're always surrounded by weapons if you deserve it enough. I can't believe that story that he was berating his assistant. Like that was obviously entertainment for him. Yeah. See what I mean? It's like a big fucking power trip for these people.
So we were hanging out. I told you that I hung out with Scott Bloom in 2011 with that wild incident, right? I mentioned it briefly in the book. So I'm hanging out with Scott Bloom over, you know, I forget what bar, maybe we're at Stout, and Scott is talking about how he's bored with or just exhausted by the constant talk and berating of assistants about their assistants. It's like so to your point, it's entertainment. It's their assistants. It's just weird. It's like it's like this like need to control and manipulate and to feel like this superiority.
That's
complex.
Exactly what it is. Here's the thing: is like if you ever grew up in a culture where people have like servants, like where typically you don't have to be like super wealthy in order to have servants in your house. Yeah. There's a lot of South American countries, and I think a lot of European countries, and I don't know about the rest of the world because I'm uneducated, but they'll talk about.
You're so dumb.
They'll talk about it too. Anytime that you are in a position to have somebody who is working under you, you'll see majority. You'll see that people will complain about them, and it's this thing that it's like they're bonding by gossiping about their employees. Yep. Like I've never had an employee, and I can't relate to that. But there's people who grew up from childhood having employees in their homes. employees that have to answer to them as children. And so you end up like culturally just being like, you know, I don't know how many of these Hollywood executives grew up rich too and had like staff that they could order around. Like maybe that's just their culture. I don't know. It's fucking sick.
People are hard on the help. It doesn't make any sense.
It's fucked up.
It's so weird because these people are handling your life. Like I would want them to be. So I don't know if this is true. What I should say, I know this is true. I don't know if George Clooney is a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy. But I do know that he bought his assistant a house in the hills. I do know that. And I know that he paid cash for it. And I know that he gave it to her and she owns it in her name. I know that happened.
Immediately, I was like, so he wants her to stay quiet.
Yeah, like immediately. Well, at the time, that's what I'm saying. At the time, I was like, oh my God.
See, that's how
my
you do
hero, George fucking Clooney is my hero. Now, 2025, 10 years later or whatever it is.
He's like, you're going to be quiet about this, right?
What the fuck are you hiding, mister?
Yeah, right.
I've read that. Yeah. Fucking funny, dude.
Some people just really enjoy being helpful though. Like I knew a rich guy. I worked with him for like a summer. And his
stinking rich.
Yeah, he was stinking rich. He owned like a fucking penthouse in Santa Monica or something. And he, I don't know exactly where it was, but his friends used to call him Captain Save-A-Ho because he would constantly be buying he would always have women employees. Like I was one. And then he would always be like paying their rent, buying their apartments.
They're like Pretty Women, like Pretty Women thing, or is it just women? It's not like they weren't necessarily escorts. They were just.
I mean, they might have been. I don't know how he knew them, but they worked legitimately for him. Like he had employees in his businesses.
They were like,
and they were all really.
They were
smart
like tapping
women.
on the keys.
Yeah, they did work for him. Like they did marketing work.
They're like standing by the cooler chewing gum. So what do we do next?
No.
I don't know. You want to go to the kitchen? Yeah, let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah, like there was his marketing manager, and then there was this other person who was doing all of his like personal assistant, like travel planning and stuff like that. Like they were actually working for him.
Yeah.
But he constantly was just like buying them things and making sure that they're okay. And I think that his thing was that he wanted to make sure that they were secure enough to not rely on men. It was like he had this weird way of wanting to own these women, but he was explicitly doing it not because he wanted to like dominate them in any way, but because he thought that if they got too attached to a relationship that they were going to not work for him anymore. Right. And he was like, this is a good thing I got going on. I'm going to set you up. So maybe that's just what George Clooney was doing. He was like, I want to make sure you're happy so that you don't leave.
This is my hope. That's what I hope. There might be, and I'm sure there are, people who are great to their assistants. I have a good feeling about that when it comes to people like Tom Hanks, for example, or Harrison Ford even. Now, obviously, my balloon can, my balloon can get popped on that because
people are terrible.
Because, so many of my heroes have fallen. R.I.P. Logie Robinson. I can't get it out of my mind. I can't. I'm like, you fucking bastard. Why couldn't you die a hero? I was a really big fan
of Louis C.K. before he was like completely unapologetic.
He was my favorite comic.
Doing the most heinous shit to people.
He was my favorite comic until I realized that what he was saying was true.
I know.
The shit he was saying was true, which is crazy. Now my favorite comic is it's either Mulaney or Bill Burr, or both. John Fogerty is re-recording Creedence Clearwater Revival album after being inspired by Taylor Swift. He says he understands her plight. And I can't imagine what he's talking about.
Yes.
What is her plight?
Her plight was that she lost ownership of her recordings and had to re-record all
her albums.
This
is the plight. Okay. Yeah.
So he's re-recording his CCR records?
He's re-recording his CCR albums. So it's going to be...
Does he sound good still?
I don't know.
What if they're awful?
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
What if it's terrible?
Huh?
What if it's terrible?
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. Like, who the fuck is going to see The Who? Who goes to The Who? Like, I remember, I shit you not.
Why is that coming up?
Because they're fuck Who? What? How? I think he's 81.
Okay.
I think Roger Daltrey is 81 years old.
So who's going to see The Who?
I don't know, but people are because they're on tour.
Oh, they're on tour.
They're fucking on tour.
You can start with that, Dale.
In 1987, I think it was 1987. It could have been 1986. I made a joke. Oh no, it was 1988. It was in my first year of stand-up comedy. I had a joke about how The Who is on their 5th retirement tour. Like their first, it was because they kept revival. They kept calling, what do we call it?
It was a reunion tour.
They kept having their final reunion. It was the final reunion. But this is the funniest one they ever had. So The Who, they're back together again on a tour. But Pete Townsend, I called him Peter Townsend. That's hilarious. Pete Townsend was interviewed recently about it, and he was like all curmudgeon-y. He was just like, I fucking hate it. I've never liked it. Touring sucks. You stand up all day. Like, he was just like this big bitching, like, gotta get up and go, I gotta go to the, I'm supposed to retire and enjoy my life, but no, I gotta go to work, and this is touring.
I gotta act excited in front of all these people in the arena.
And they fired their drummer, they rehired their drummer, then they fired their drummer again and rehired and then got hired a different drummer, a drummer from one of their solo works, because apparently they're doing solo works in their 80s. And I know, they do, and it's cool, it's great, it's art, keep going, but holy fuck. So then Roger Daltrey, he catches wind that Pete Townsend was whining about touring, so he's like, I don't want to do it no more. It's just like, they're just being these old fucks, like, that's it, fuck it, we're not doing it then. You don't want to, we won't, and Peter Townsend's like, oh,
So he screwed up the paycheck for everybody? Just
no, now they're doing it, they're back on.
Now they're doing it again.
Fire the drummer, hire the drummer. They just like, that's just like, when I grew up, all you want to do was like get backstage and like drink and get wasted with the band, Holy fuck, backstage.
You do it for a lifetime.
I went backstage. Boring. I went backstage in like 2011 to the Scorpions. You know the Scorpions?
Yeah.
In the 80s heavy metal band. And Cinderella opened. Cinderella was great, by the way. Fucking amazing. I mean, he had some keyboardist behind him hitting all the pitches to his vocals. It was like you could hear it kick in every time. It was like, oh yeah, you put that fader up nicely. So that backstage was like a fucking shit show. Let me tell you, it was like
a shit show in a good way or a bad
way? In
the
worst way. The band was miserable. They were just like, oh, good to see you too. Oh, thanks for coming. They were just fucking miserable human beings.
Was it before or after?
They don't want to do it. They've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years.
Before or after?
After.
Well, yeah, they're exhausted.
And it was also the worst heavy metal concert I ever saw in my life. But.
They like depleted all their dopamine on stage or whatever.
So John Fogerty's re-recording all of his Creedence Clearwater stuff, and it's going to be the John Fogerty version.
So is he saying that Taylor Swift inspired him?
Yes.
Well,
inspired by Taylor Swift.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
I listened to her today. I absolutely am out of my mind for her.
Good for her.
For her work. I love her. Sydney Sweeney. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
She's selling soap that's infused with her used bathwater now.
Nice.
I couldn't wait to tell you this one. I'm so excited.
I love that. That's so great.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Does it make you want to take baths and get entrepreneurial? Angela's soap with infused bathwater.
I'm no Sydney Sweeney. I know who's gonna buy my bathwater.
I don't think it matters. I just think it's like somebody. Is that even a kink? Like, oh, I want that bathwater. Like, and like other dudes out there like watching women in like movies, and they're like, oh, if I could get my foot in that bathwater.
Are you aware of Rule 32?
What is that? Anything goes?
No,
I don't know. Is that Rule 34?
Rule 34?
Yeah, is
that what it is?
I think it's Rule 34. Wrong? That's so funny that she said, Dale, are you aware of the wrong number? Is it Rule 34? It is, right? I'm not going to type it in because it's...
So yeah, if you can think of it, there's a kink for sure.
Wow.
And if it involves Sydney Sweeney, yeah, it's probably anything goes with every kink imaginable.
The absolute, like that so that has to be expensive, right?
I hope for her sake it is.
Because that's exceedingly rare.
I just love it when people come up with clever ways to make money that doesn't hurt anybody. She's not exploiting anybody. She's just like, hey, I have a product you might be interested in.
Like it goes so well that like we see her like in 6 months and she's all pruned.
Yeah,
she's like, all she's doing is making bathwater.
Production is high. I can't feel my fingers.
She's like as soft as cheese. Like she can't hold glass.
It's really funny.
Oh.
Taking all our meetings from the bath.
Darling, the doctors are like, you have to stop bathing, woman.
That's really great.
She starts growing scales. The whole thing. Let's go. And Sydney Sweeney turned into a mermaid.
She called off her engagement. And I think that every woman on the internet seemed to be collectively like proud of her. Like, yeah, girl, you're hot. Don't tie it down yet.
I wish I had.
What? Called off your engagement?
Yep.
You're telling your wife.
No, not this one. My first one. I was married.
Like, oh, are we gonna air it out? I've never heard of this before.
It's my second marriage. No. We're not gonna air it out. Definitely not. I love you with every breath I take. I love you more and more every day.
I'm sorry that I don't come up with really great ideas like selling bathwater soap.
If we could make money doing that, I would like. There's the picture of her. She's laying in this big bath. It's covered in soap. With her clavicle beautifully exposed. and she's holding up her like bottle of soap or whatever.
Fantastic. Good for her.
I just like, how does it work? Like, do you not use it, or do you use it? And if you use it, what are you doing? Are you just rubbing it all over you? Like, what are you doing with her bath water?
Anything goes, man.
You're not drinking it, are you?
They're probably taking deep huffs of it. Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what you do with that. Like, that's just such a weird thing to buy. I wish somebody wanted my bath water, because I would like, that's easy to make. I think you couldn't bottle it up so easy, but
she probably gets so much negative attention. I don't know that I would. That's definitely like a monkey's paw situation. Like you might want the attention that Sydney Sweeney gets until you actually get it, and you're like, oh, this is terrible. This is actually awful.
Guilty Angel's asking if anyone's used the body wash. I myself have not. She stole the idea from Bella Delphine.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, so she did it too?
So there's a whole market.
So there's a thing?
Awesome.
Man, I hope this podcast blows up and you can sell your bath water.
I should buy one of each and do product reviews. Nobody will listen to me because I'm a girl.
No, there's got to be some dude going, dude, this bath water is so good. It's like the real thing. It's like taking a bath with her, kind of.
I know. There's a bunch of like moms of teenage boys out there that are like, finally, I found a way to get them to bathe.
I bet you somebody sends it out for analysis. They're like, is there human anything in this? Very funny. Very interesting. Very weird. Wish her the best. Kate Winslet's daughter. There are things that happen where I suddenly feel old. And Kate Winslet having a daughter whose eyes she must cover, back when I guess she was 11.
She had to cover her eyes?
Yeah. Well, she watched her mother in Titanic having sex with Leonardo DiCaprio or Jack Dawson. It just made me feel old. I'm only sharing this with you because Kate Winslet had a daughter. And her daughter is old enough that she watches Titanic. And I know that I'm 55 and I know that I should know that this is, but you know, the weirdest thing about aging is like, as you get older, you're like, you don't feel all that much older. Like time really does fly that quickly by, where you're just like, I don't feel a day over 30. You know what I mean? I just don't. So you have to get reminded, and you do in different ways. Like, for example, you'd be like, why the fuck is my back sore? You're like, back sore?
I have a really hard time with the years. I really do think that the conspiracy theory that the world ended in 2020, no, in the year 2000, that Y2K actually happened.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Like this is all just one big giant episode of Lost.
Yeah. I like that conspiracy theory because it does actually kind of scramble my brain to think about like, oh, I think about like 20 years ago was, 1980.
Right.
Yeah, like it's just,
that's how it feels for me.
I get a little screwed up when somebody was like, oh, 2013. I was like, oh yeah, that was just like last year.
I bring up things that I think I just have some kind of stupid belief that people should just know that are from like 1987 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like all expectant, I'll just say it, and then people are like, and
I think that
it blows my mind because like,
I think that's
that
why
was a long fucking time ago.
I think that's why I really love movie nerds, because they're so receptive to that kind of comedy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that kind of joke where you're like, oh, I got a little reference, and they're like, a reference? I love references.
Yeah, they do. I do too. You put little things in. And...
Hey, Dale.
Yeah.
I have something to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, so the people that are visiting with us haven't observed how you act when there's a spider around.
Where is the spider?
I found a spider.
Is he a big one?
Yes.
Where?
He's
big one?
Up there. And he's like,
look at that.
Right near the ceiling.
I love all the bugs.
Dale is super into bugs.
I don't love all the bugs. Cockroaches can fuck right off. And ants there's the ants that get into my house, not good ants.
Dale was so tickled
the ants that are like outside carrying sticks and leaves, really neat.
We got to hang out with some entomologists once, like two expert, like a university, like head of the department entomologists.
Yeah.
And Dale was so tickled because he loves bugs so much.
And they set up a white sheet with a big bright light at night.
That was so cool. If you guys ever go out anywhere like in the country, or I don't know, wherever you
pick an entomologist to go
with. You could string up a white sheet outside and blast some light at it.
Just a bulb, whatever bright bulb you got.
Wait a few hours and then go back out and check what bugs have like attached to
we
the
saw
white
those
sheet.
like Luna moths or whatever.
Yeah,
those
there was like a bunch of moths and a
big
bunch
giant
of
moths too.
Different kind of like
Dude, the craziest thing happened ever with bugs. We were out camping once and these big giant wasps invaded our camp, and Angela like decided she wasn't going to be scared of them. And then like within minutes, she was covered in them, dude. And it was so fucking scary. They were enormous and they were walking on her face, across her nose. I'm losing my shit. Like I can't even keep my shit together. And Angela's walking around like this is just every goddamn day of her life.
Well, I was mainly annoyed that you were losing your shit.
Oh, I couldn't take it.
I was like covered in wasps. They're like walking across my face, and I was like, "Can you keep your shit under control?"
So I'm like I'm trying to get the lights off because I brought all these lights to rig up around the camp. So I'm trying to get these lights off. I finally get the lights off. We finally get the bugs off of Angela. We get inside the tent. I look these bugs up. Apparently their bite is like gnarly.
Yeah, like 8 of 10 on the
like
pain
super
scale.
Gnarly. Don't get bit by these things. And you were literally, they were crawling all over your face. And I'm telling you, they were like 2-3 inches, like 5, 6, 7
They
centimeters.
would like just crawl all the way up my shirt and all the way like up my hood, and then they would like buzz and then like start at the bottom again and then crawl all the way up. It was horrific.
Nuts. Fucking absolutely crazy. All right, I think that's it for me, except the Karen retrial, which the defense rested.
Oh yeah, I know. Fucking fine.
So I definitely have a bunch to talk about on that when we're ready.
I was trying to find this picture of you.
Do you want to do some
hang on a second. I was trying to find
some comments at some point?
Yes, hang on a second.
All right.
I was trying to find this picture of you because I have a photograph that I thought maybe you should show people. I can't find it though. So I'm just going to tell you about it.
So we're in the South and we have these house spiders, and they're as big as your hand, some of them. They're amazing. Go ahead.
The happiest picture I've ever taken of Dale. The happiest he's ever been. Even on our wedding day, the pictures don't even look as happy as he was when a jumping spider landed on his arm.
It was the best.
He was like gleeful.
I see all these people.
Happy. Oh my God, here it is.
I see all these people on the internet and they have they feed squirrels and stuff. I want to do that. I want to have those relationships.
Okay, I'm not going to show people.
Yeah, don't. I look ridiculous. I have to groom myself for hours to look this good.
So anytime I find a spider in the house, I call Dale over to get his boy. I'm like, you got to get your friend out of the tub. He's going to die. And he like, no matter what he's doing, he'll like put everything down and like scoot over and help his little spider friend.
Leo Edit said we should send the book to Kate Winslet. Second live in a row, we had 10 people on YouTube. I'm so excited.
I don't think that she would appreciate it because she
loves him so much.
I know. They're like, I thought it
Leo
was
Edit
so
said
bizarre.
She'll set him straight.
I thought it was so super bizarre that she was campaigning for his Oscar against her own co-star. I figured that like the studio would have been pissed at her for that and would have like stopped her. But that was just how that Oscar campaign went. It was so strange. I was like, dude, your own fucking movie is up against Leo. What are you doing? It's so strange.
Yeah.
And she loves him.
We didn't yet, Jennifer, talk about Justin Blake v. Justin.
There's not much news going on because
I don't see anything.
They're calling it like all the lawyers on social media are calling it lawfare, where like the lawyers will just duke it out. So we're expecting an amended schedule for all of the motions to dismiss and all of the hearings involved with discovery and all of those things to come out. Jed Wallace is the last one that has a deadline, but I think everybody else is supposed to be answering in the first week of June. So maybe we'll have some more news then.
I mean, there was obviously all these advocacy groups coming out and saying that Justin Baldoni is breaking California law.
Yes, there was amicus briefs filed by a bunch of legal and social justice groups.
Yeah.
Saying that Justin Baldoni or that Blake Lively's motion to dismiss should prevail because lawmakers have decided that California does not allow for Justin Baldoni's lawsuit.
Right, because it's retaliation. And you can't retaliate against allegations of sexual that are of sexual manner.
Yeah. They've said, so they're saying like, I know that you feel strongly about your case and but if you prevailed in the court, that would set a precedent, and we I've been working very diligently to make this a law in California, and all of the state's lawmakers have decided that this should be something you cannot do. So the federal judge gets to decide whether he wants to be involved in that, I guess. I'm not sure the amicus briefs have, I don't know what sway they have. Since those people aren't party to the case, it's just kind of like...
There's one headline that Blake Lively's hair care and booze products have tanked in sales.
Yeah, that's evidence that she intends to show for damages.
Pure damage.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with her actual reputation or worthy of her actual reputation. It's a very interesting thing because there's actual demonstrable loss there. And that can be a very big problem for him if a jury decides that he indeed maliciously maligned her publicly.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very interesting to find out how that prevails. I know that when the trial's on, we're going to be live and we're going to be analyzing everything that comes out of everybody's mouth from my perspective as a filmmaker and from your perspective as a woman dealing with these kinds of issues on a regular basis. People don't know, by the way, people who don't, like anybody who's new, like we have Jennifer. I don't know if you know Jennifer. First of all, Jennifer Arbuckle, are you at all related to the Fatty Arbuckle estate? I'm just asking. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that last name. I love it. It's one of my favorite last names. If I could only be an Arbuckle.
I have a list of my favorite last names, and yours is on it.
Arbuckle is a good one. But anyway, I'm. My name is Dale. I wrote and produced a movie called Dawn's Plum, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. We got into a 30-year dispute over it. We're still fighting now. This is a book I recently published called Too Real a Hollywood Memoir. And I wrote this book because in 2019, I did a documentary with the New York Post. And at the end of that documentary, Leonardo DiCaprio, through his publicist, he called me a liar and he called me a thief. And I got mad about that because I'm neither. And he knows that. And so I needed a way to...
and it's not like you can just sue him for defamation.
Impossible. I have no money for that.
Fucked up.
So I needed to like find a way to answer his lie and do it effectively. And this is the best way I could think of was to write a book. And I don't know, in terms of effectively, it hasn't hit the big time yet, but if it does, then I win. And if it doesn't, then I wrote a pretty good book that people enjoy. At least a few thousand people will enjoy. Anyway, and that is why we're going to cover the Baldoni and Lively trials so very closely. And as a matter of fact, we were on TikTok for months just opining on all this in a rather unorganized way. And so we're going to do a full recap leading up to the trial. We're going to go over the whole drama as it unfolded up until the moment of the trial.
Yep.
Moment by moment, for YouTube and for TikTok. And we're going to be doing that on lives, but we're also going to be using those lives to repurpose into...
I just figured that there's probably some people who were like asleep at the wheel when all of this was going down. And so they're just getting little tidbits, but they don't have like the thorough story. So I just wanted to catch people up with like a thorough retelling of what is going on so that they can follow along with all their friends that are going to be, because the trial is in March, I think, unless they change the date.
Yes,
maybe April.
They said March or April, but yeah, first to close
and I
to
think everybody's going to be talking about it. So it might be nice for people to get caught up.
We're gonna go through the whole fucking kit and caboodle. And that's cool because I'm gonna take apart every interview he did.
Your spider's on the move.
We're gonna do Megan, the Megan, what's her name?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. We're gonna do her interview and the Forbes interview, everything, all of it. We shall be all over it. So I'm excited for that. Anyway, so that was just a little update on that. Do you want to do some comments on YouTube? Or sorry, on TikTok?
Sure.
And
let's see what
I'll poke around. I think we're doing pretty good. Leo and Kate ever date. I don't believe that Leo and Kate ever dated, Jennifer. I think that it was like more of like a brother sister kind of maternal thing. More Moon, less Venus, if you will. For those of you who are into the stars.
Probably more Mercury, less Venus. Mercury is more siblings. The moon is your mother.
Exactly. It's more of a maternal relationship.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. I know what I was saying, Angela. I'm an astrologer.
Jenna's asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
If you made Dawn's Plum.
Yeah.
But with bugs.
Yeah.
What bugs would the characters be?
Oh, that's a great question. Let's see if I can nail this. Tobey Maguire's a cockroach. Kevin Connolly is a wood tick.
Why a wood tick?
Or maybe Ethan Suplee is a wood tick. In Deep. Leonardo DiCaprio is a dragonfly.
Uh-huh.
And Scott Bloom is a cicada.
Okay. What about Kevin Connolly?
Oh, right, because I unassigned wood tick. Kevin Connolly is an ant. Is a fire ant.
Jenny Lewis is a ladybug.
Jenny Lewis, no. Jenny Lewis, yes.
Meadow Sisto.
Jenny Lewis is a ladybug.
Meadow Sisto is one of those those little purple butterflies, like the really pretty ones.
I like that.
That just look so. They're like little fairies, like little wispy fairies.
Okay.
So pretty.
I dig.
But you only see them for a little while, and then
I'm the one casting the movie, Angela.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
And then
Amber Benson.
And Amber Benson. You know who Amber Benson is, since you're the one casting the movie?
I think Amber Benson is a praying mantis.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
Yes.
I would want to be the praying mantis if I was being cast as a bug.
They're
think kind of the coolest.
They're pretty cool.
They're also good lucks. They have like a whole mythology about them.
That was a great question.
First answer. Well, Tobey Maguire's a cockroach, obviously.
Tobey Maguire's a cockroach. He'll live forever. Nothing will get rid of him, not even nuclear fucking holocaust. Derek is a dragonfly. That's right, Jenna.
That's really funny. Thanks, Jenna, for the question. That was entertaining. So Dale's Instagram is just a bunch of pictures of bugs.
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, you can actually, if you go to tworealbook.com, which is just basically all my domains point there. Freedoms Plum now, everything points there. If you go there, you can. I think my Instagram is hooked up there.
Let me check.
You can click on it, and then you can look at my bug photos. I also have some photos from Guatemala that I really love there. There's some cool shit there, but I don't really go on Meta social media because the whole thing creeps me out, bro. Just telling you. I'm just saying it creeps me out.
All right, here's your socials. Yes. Yep, you can see bugs and birds.
Yeah, bugs and birds.
And moons and dogs.
And moons and dogs.
You got to update this.
And
these are old pictures.
There's some new ones there, fairly recent. Anyway, I think
you're a very good photographer, Dale.
Thanks. That's nice of you to say. I just take pictures with my phone.
Like this one? This one is so cool.
Yeah.
That one is so cool.
Let me show them. My vulture picture, it's the best. You can show them on your camera.
I'm going to let you do it.
Well, show them on your camera, actually. This is a picture of this was cool, dude. This is phone cameras, bro. I was on a morning walk. You know, some mornings I go out and I'll do a couple miles, but pretend I'm getting in shape. And then I'll stop for another 3 months and be like, hey, I got to get back to walking.
Am I holding it up right?
Yeah, that's great. You can pull it back, actually. Pull it back so it gets a little more in focus. Anyway, you can drop it now. That's cool. So anyway, I was just on a walk and I saw that damn bird up on a church, on a top of a cross at the church, bro. It's like fucking, what is it?
Vulture.
No, the church, Methodist church. And
oh yeah, dude.
I was like, man,
you've been taking really great pictures.
It's looking like
this one.
Yeah, that's a crow in a tree. I love that one.
Anyway,
so yeah, I take birds.
I'm a big fan of your photography.
Anyway, let's get on with the good stuff. Let me see. Does Meadow Sisto hate Dale? No.
I hope not.
Who are you asking? Who the fuck knows?
I guess you'd have to ask her.
I'm just going with no. I don't think Meadow Sisto hates me. Why would she hate me? There was no reason. I don't know what she thinks about me, but she used to love me. And I loved her. And I don't think it would take much for her to remember that.
Oh.
The relationship that I portrayed between us in the book was very real. and it was very beautiful.
I hope she's doing okay. I hope she likes the work you're doing.
She was one of my favorite people on the earth, and I miss her, and I always will. Was there a funeral in the church that day? No, but there were Christians.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you attended a funeral and then you came out and looked back and there was a freaking vulture on top?
Oh my God, it'd be like
so horrible
and like crouched like that. It was like waiting for like
looking down.
It was like they saw like a baby limping in or something. They're like, that one's only got a few minutes left. I joke about Christians.
Okay, Karen Read trial.
Karen Read trial. So Karen Read was, I think this was like day 23 or something like this, and the prosecutor did in fact rest their case today.
Yeah, thank God, because all their witnesses fucking sucked.
Pretty much. Before we get into the sort of the weeds of it all, what drove me particularly crazy about this final witness, what's his name again? Dr.
Judd Welcher.
Welcher. Mr. Welcher. What drove me crazy about him, it was his exit. So he gets wrapped.
The judge says, "You're all set. You can go.
You're all set. You can go." And he makes this big deal out of it. Oh, thank goodness. And
he was like, "Oh, thank God."
And there's like a rumble of laughter in the court, and the judge looks all amused. Dude, if I was like that, man.
If I was a juror and I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're so relieved to leave. You're being paid for this, and I'm a juror. I'm stuck here and not being paid." Like, it's just really.
I think he was mugging it up for the jurors for sure. He was.
Oh, but they weren't entertained by that.
This fucking guy was a scumbag, man. I'm telling you. What's his name? Merchant?
Who?
Welcher. This is all for entertainment purposes. Welcher was a scumbag.
He's getting paid so much money to be there, and he just was such a bitch about it. What's really interesting too is today again we saw his mood shift, because he started under cross-examination by the defense attorneys,
yes.
and then the prosecutor came up and questioned him, and he's a completely different person. And then he was under cross again. So the jury really got to see how biased he is by. Like, he's supposed to be an unbiased expert,
right,
who's just sharing testimony of his experimentation and his scientific whatever outcomes.
Yeah.
But he was so different with both of the attorneys that I just thought that it was just really super unprofessional. Like, he really just had so much disdain for the defense attorney. I was just like, it seemed kind of pathetic.
I agree. It was extremely pathetic. And he was also so egotistical, in my opinion. He was so concerned. He seemed like somebody who was highly protective of what he thought of himself.
Oh, yeah.
Reputationally, like what he thought of himself.
Somebody was joking online that like he goes to the coffee shop and the barista asks him, what kind of coffee he would like. And his answer is like, "I'm an engineer."
His answer is, "I'm an engineer. So of course I want the best coffee you can make."
Yeah.
Or I want a hot coffee.
I was like, if you drink every time this guy reminds everybody in the courtroom that he's an engineer, you'd be so wasted.
I thought he was a very good witness for the defense. And here's why.
I thought so too.
I thought he was a great defense witness because the only thing, they don't have to prove that she didn't do anything. They don't have to prove that she didn't kill him.
I saved this today.
They only have to prove that the Commonwealth can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she did. And I think that this was their star witness. This was the guy coming on to deliver the final blows, to leave the jury with what should be their decision.
Yeah.
Let's be sure about something. Like, it is entirely possible that this trial is over right now in terms of the eyes of the jurors, or one juror, because it's only going to take one to hang this thing. And I don't think that if there is one juror right now, and I think there's more than one, but I don't think that if there is one juror right now who firmly does not believe in the Commonwealth's case, to the extent that it, without any doubt whatsoever, proves her guilt on any of these charges, that the defense is going to change their mind. Like, the defense isn't going to go and present a case that any juror now in doubt So right now they're just going for the full acquittal because I think they've got the mistrial in the bag. Because this guy, without question, throughout his entire testimony, his entire testimony was doubt, doubt, doubt. I don't know. The numbers aren't correct, or I don't know. The numbers we can't know for sure where the car started.
Yeah. So today, Alessi for the defense was asking this Judd Welcher. He was asking him about bias and how he can be so sure to be
confirmation bias of all things. Right?
Yeah. He was like, how can you be so sure that you're being unbiased in your approach to all of this, right? Because he's using data. Another thing that he showed the jury was that he's using data that was gathered by these troopers who are co-workers of the people who are involved in this whole scenario. Like, yes, they may not be biased. And so if this guy who's working for the prosecution is being hired and conducting all these tests, like, how can we be sure that you're not biased? And so Judd Welcher made the most foolish admission. He said that he started out without believing that John O'Keefe was struck by Karen Read's vehicle. Okay, he was like, I started out, I didn't know if that was the case, and I didn't believe it was the case. That's how unbiased I am.
He said, if there was a confirmation bias, then my bias was that I didn't believe this occurred in the way that the Commonwealth was.
He was trying to say, I'm claiming. So unbiased that I started out not thinking that was the case. And then, of course, he's trying to say, he doesn't realize how foolish this sounds, but he's trying to say that when he came to that conclusion, it was because he was unbiased, and that's actually the truth. And right. That everybody should understand that that's the truth, because that's what the prosecution is paying him for, right?
Yeah.
Well, so he said, I started out not thinking that John O'Keefe was struck by an SUV, but he said, this is from Joe Flipperhead on Twitter.
I love a name like Flipperhead.
But he also admitted that his investigation could not determine what speed John O'Keefe was hit, when John O'Keefe was hit,
at what point,
where John O'Keefe was hit
such an important thing
on his body.
There's so important.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
How John O'Keefe was hit. They don't know what speed he was hit at. They don't know when he was hit. They don't know where he was hit at in the vicinity. They don't know where he was struck on his body. They don't know how he was hit. They don't know anything about it. They can't prove it. They don't have that information.
But yet,
and he has admitted it so many times. But despite all that, he changed his mind from didn't contact John O'Keefe, from the automobile did not contact John O'Keefe, to it did contact John O'Keefe.
Profoundly.
So how did you come to that conclusion if you don't know all of this stuff that you've already told the jury that you don't know?
You can read that list one more time.
Welcher claimed that he started with the idea that the SUV did not contact John O'Keefe. Okay, that's what he said today.
Yeah.
But his investigation could not determine, and he has admitted this under cross-examination, his investigation could not determine what speed John O'Keefe was hit at, when John O'Keefe was hit, where John O'Keefe was hit at, how John O'Keefe was hit. None of those things could have been determined, because he has admitted he doesn't have enough information to know any of those things. He's like, I'm just an engineer, okay? I work with what I have. But despite all that, he changed his mind from the SUV did not contact John O'Keefe to it did contact John O'Keefe. How? Like, that makes no sense. So there you have doubt. And all the jury needs is doubt in order to find her not guilty or to be a hung jury. So yeah, I agree with you.
The only thing he can go for now is an acquittal.
He was a really great witness for the defense.
Yeah.
And also, I think that his courtroom antics, he did a lot of interrupting Alessi. He got really frustrated with him. Alessi actually had to complain to the judge once, which I thought was a moment of weakness. He really sounded like he lost his cool. But Judd Welcher kept saying, he kept answering and then was like, no, don't stop me. Let me finish. Right? But Alessi hadn't said anything.
Yeah.
And so he had to scold him.
So I'm sure it was Alessi like making, whatever gesture.
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah. So Alessi
he was argumentative with the judge herself.
Yes, I know. So Alessi had to tell the judge, like, can you tell him not to just answer the question? Because I'm not, if I want to interrupt him, that's my place to be able to do that. The very
first question of the day,
mm-hmm.
Alessi asks a question. And once again, as he did all day yesterday, Welcher started reframing. And he kept doing this all the time. He kept saying, the question you're really asking.
I know, it's really improper.
And then it's so improper. And then Alessi finally was like, no. If you don't understand the question that I'm asking, I will rephrase it.
I'll ask it differently.
I've asked this question and I want you to answer the question I've asked.
That's right.
And if you can't answer that, just say you don't understand and I'll rephrase my question.
That's right.
Because he kept doing that.
But here's the thing. This person works.
Now the other guy, the silver-headed guy, the brain surgeon guy.
Yes.
He did that. And he did it with such elegance and so classy, because what he was really doing was actually helping Alessi.
He knew he was setting a foundation to get to a question, and he was like, let me just jump to the question.
Right, because he knew that Alessi had a path he had to go through in order to establish it without objection.
Okay, but what's so weird about this witness today is that he works for this company called Aperture, which is trying to unseat in the courts, like they're trying to get the contract from the court that currently ARCA usually has. ARCA is an accident reconstruction specialist. There are a bunch of scientists that do forensic analysis and all kinds of data analysis and whatever.
Right.
And they do accident reconstruction for the courts. And so, and they're really, really professional at it. They're super, super good at it.
Jerry Mitter's calling 1 second. Decline. Jerry Mitters, you can find him in the book, by the way, Two Real Hollywood Midnight War. Go ahead.
Judd Welcher, who is the witness today, he works for this company Aperture, which has really been trying to grease the palms of the court. They had apparently had like this gala where they named this judge
last year, right?
Last year, this judge was named Person of the Year.
Oh my God!
So here's the thing:
these guys, we got to give out awards. We're just gonna give out awards.
So these guys are like trying to seat themselves as the premier professionals for this sort of job, but the guy fucking shows up to work, Judd Welcher, and he conducted himself like such an ass in the witness booth. Is that what it's called? The little podium they sit in?
Witness stand.
The witness stand.
But the witness booth is more fun.
It's like a booth.
Do you want to go into the booth?
Well, they said it.
They got a little door.
He also had to get scolded by the judge for looking at his Apple Watch.
Yeah.
He was like trying to cheat.
She was like, "Don't look at the watch."
She's like, "Quit doing that."
She's like, "Oh, I'm just looking to see he's probably watching himself." She's like, "I look pretty good. The beard."
Next time he's going to bring an earpiece and he'll be like, "Yes, the answer is."
So this guy, I think was a terrible witness. By the way, court got let out early today because the judge had agreed to help or to allow a juror had some kind of personal business or whatever that they had to take a half day for. So they worked a half day today. And that half day, of course, was Welcher concluding. And then another thing that throughout the trial, Brennan, who is the prosecutor for the Commonwealth, they're taking these clips from the various interviews that Karen did for the documentary and for all, Dateline, wherever else that she did her stuffs. And I think the final clip. What's that?
I think my throat made
a little noise. I didn't hear.
It was right in the mic.
Did you? I don't know if I think they helped Karen Read in the last clip. In the last clip they showed, she's doing an interview. I think it was for the ID channel. And in the interview, she's describing the moment where she's engrossed in doubt, where she's like, did I do this? Was it me? Did I back up? Did I run over his foot? Did I strike his knee? Did I knock him over? Did he lose consciousness? Did he roll over and fall and die?
I couldn't believe that the Commonwealth played that clip, because here she is very clearly not knowing what the fuck happened. And they're trying to charge her with murder too.
With intent.
Which is intent.
Intent.
So she literally doesn't know what happened to this victim.
So they're using this clip.
She's admitting it. What the hell are they showing the jury that for?
It's the most confusing thing in the world, because they're literally showing a clip where she cannot have intent if the jury believes the clip that they're using in their own case to try and get a murder rap on this woman. And in the actual clip, she's utterly confused, has no idea what happened, and playing what if.
So, and they rested their case without proving any intent.
And so they can't. So their whole case is murder too.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the manslaughter charge, but they want the murder too.
Isn't it confusing? Do you understand what the hell's going on?
And their very last witness is their star witness does nothing but cast doubt throughout the whole testimony. I think he was on the stand for 3 days, 2.5 days. Nothing but doubt did he cast. There was absolutely nothing that he provided that I felt like lent.
You're so fired up.
Am I? Let's go, Karen Read for the win.
You're shouting in the house.
I want justice, baby. I want justice.
Well, he's not going to get justice. Nobody's ever going to find his killers.
Well, right now the justice is for Karen Read because she's being set up. It's justice for Karen Read. Unfortunately, when you get killed by cops, they're going to get away with it. And that's what I think happened here. This is only my opinion. Of course, we don't know anything for reals. But that is my opinion. I do think that, you know, I do think that he was killed by a cop, and I think that it was, and I don't think it was intentional. I think it was accidental, and I think that's why he died in the manner he did. I think that blow to the back of his head is the cement floor, and I think it was created by either a dog attacking him unknowingly, like, just out of the blue.
So he was wasted drunk.
Yeah.
And then I think that a dog lunged at him and knocked him off his feet.
Yeah. Or the only other possibility that I can't find a way to connect correctly is that Higgins, who invited him there in the first place, who we know was had at least at one time had an affair with Karen Read relative to the time of the party, and that they had an ongoing, Karen Read and Higgins had an ongoing side thing going, at least via text. It's funny because like people, affairs of the heart are real. People do crazy things without ever establishing a physical relationship with somebody, if they have this emotional relationship with somebody. So I cannot draw proper lines to Higgins, but I think that the only other possible solution, if it wasn't that he struck his head and the Alberts didn't want to lose their fortune to any kind of liable issue, so they thought they would pin it on the plow. They probably weren't thinking that this was going to end up becoming some kind of a murder trial, because, and this boils down. I'm going to let you go here in a second, Angela, but this goes to everything that you're talking about, like in terms of like why would you have a witness that casts nothing but doubt? Why would you put a clip on a screen where Karen Read is clearly and very authentically confused about whether or not she had any participation in or culpability in an accident that took this man's life, and you want intent and you want murder too?
They needed to show a recording of her saying, I wanted him dead.
They're throwing the case.
I know.
It just looks like they're throwing the case. Now, why would they throw the case? Because they know.
Yeah.
Because they know who the murderer is, and you know what they're not doing. You know what the Commonwealth didn't do? They didn't put Higgins on the stand, and they didn't put Proctor on the stand. And these are the two shadiest fucking cop characters in this whole scenario. These two dudes are some shady ass dudes, and they didn't put either of those men, and certainly they didn't put any of the Alberts on the stand either, and nobody in the house. I mean, that's not true, because what's her name was on the stand, and there was a couple people from the house. Allegedly from the house.
Yeah, they had a lot more witnesses from this friend group last trial. And it's a shame that the jury doesn't know the difference.
I wonder why I'm fired up. You know why, man? Because I think she's being framed. This happened to me, Do you
want to hear from the comments?
Tobey Maguire framed my ass.
Do you want to hear from the chat?
Yeah, let's hear.
Dr. Susan said it's very insensitive to jurors and the O'Keefe family, the way he was behaving.
Yeah.
Also,
and he dressed in his clothing to reenact the murder.
Dr. Susan said that too. How rude that Judd Welcher was dressed up like the victim for the reenactments. It's so inappropriate.
And like, if you're watching the trial, the trial videographer is constantly panning in or zooming to the family.
Yeah.
And you see them, your heart goes out to them like so much, because these guys are not getting justice. They don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
They want to believe the prosecutor, and they want to believe the police because they bleed blue. And here we are.
Jennifer Arbuckle says that what he said about not being biased.
Yeah.
That's what pro Baldoni people say, that they started off believing Blake.
Yeah, exactly. It's a manipulation. That's a great point. It is. That is a straight up. That's a straight up manipulation. Hey, what are you talking about? I got a black friend. I got black friends. Seriously, every racist person I knew. I had a racist father-in-law.
You're like, oh, okay. Then that really insensitive thing you just said. I must have misheard it. You have a black friend.
He was a racist father-in-law who dropped N-words, who dropped every racial slur you can imagine. And he constantly told me about his black friend. Constantly. I got this black friend at work.
Erica says, I kept saying, just answer the question to Judd Welcher.
Yeah. Well, especially
because he was so roundabout about everything.
And reframing everything constantly.
And Alessi's constantly getting scolded by the judge for taking too much time. But it's like, this witness won't answer a goddamn question.
Yeah. And what Erica's really talking about is like, it's not just that he wouldn't answer the question. It was like he knew the answer, and he knew why. The thing is that this guy thought he was smarter than Alessi. He thought he was the smartest guy in the room. So every time Alessi needed to get a yes or a no about something, relative to like as far as getting something on the record as a yes or no, when he knew the answer was what Alessi wanted, he wouldn't just say it. He would always give this roundabout, like, well, he'd be like, well, there's more to it as an engineer, or there's more to the equation here, or you're leaving something out, or can I use my own slide? Like he did that more than once, where he literally tried to interrupt Alessi's right to a cross-examination.
I'm asking you about this slide.
I don't think this guy even knows that this is a part of this woman's constitutional fucking right. You know what I mean? And that he's ostensibly invading, or not invading, but he's ostensibly interfering with her Sixth Amendment right when he's trying to reframe and redirect what she gets as which is a cross directive from her accusers.
I don't know why he thought that this was a really great show for his company, because the way that he acted was not professional. I don't think I've seen that before. I mean, I'm not the most experienced trial watcher, but
but it doesn't matter. It seemed out of the ordinary. Improper. It was argumentative.
Yeah, I can't believe that this. So, I reading your depositions, the lawyers scolded you guys more, like directed you more at like just answer the question.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that nobody was doing that to him. The judge could have done it to him.
Yeah.
The prosecution could have. Well, I guess not.
It's true, dude. Like when we were getting it, we'd be like, just answer the question asked. Mm-hmm. We were constantly, being scolded, or also like, and you get guided by the objections as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you go like,
Kevin Connolly was really funny about that, because they'd be like objection asked and answered, and he'd be like, yeah, I already did talk about this.
Yeah. How many times are you gonna ask me the same question, bro? and then he
was like, yeah, I'm with this guy.
We got a lot of asked and answered in our case, which was Stopman v. DiCaprio, by the way, 1998.
Erica also says in that clip, though, that you were talking about Karen Read, in her interview, in that clip, though, she admits her lawyer thought she might be culpable, which I think was the point. Erica thinks that her interviews are the best evidence the Commonwealth has, although all those clips are clearly edited and out of context.
Yeah, but they don't do anything with the evidence. And as soon as
they just play them and then move on to something else. They don't like
you can't convict on her comments, even though this guy Welcher was constantly trying to use her comments as sort of like, because he talked about how what he does is he takes the raw evidence, the empirical evidence, broken taillight, body in the proximity. The other really dramatic thing, by the way, was the glass on the bumper. Because just for those of you who don't know, there was a cocktail glass found at the scene. The cocktail glass was known to be his because he left with it on camera, and it was common at this bar. The victim, John O'Keefe, left with this cocktail glass, and he had that cocktail glass in the car driving with the open liquor. Because cops they don't have to follow the same rules as us.
Yeah.
And so he apparently was holding this cocktail glass at the time. They allege at the time of the accident. And so when they went about collecting evidence, they found tail light, which they didn't properly document, but said it was in the general vicinity of where everything else was found, which is just fucking atrocious, nasty stuff, especially when you have a shady cop involved like Proctor. And why I bring up Proctor and why I suggest him entirely is because there was some glass found on the bumper, and the presumption was that glass was going to be related to the cocktail glass. And honestly, if that glass was cocktail glass, I think that would have been a hard conviction, like done.
No way.
I think so.
On the bumper?
On the bumper.
Okay.
Let me finish.
So that car was driven in a blizzard, towed for like 200 miles or whatever.
Well, let me quickly finish. I just think that a jury could be convinced that if the glass on the bumper matched the glass that was in his hand, that there would be reason enough to believe then that there was a correlation between that bumper and that glass.
It makes more sense that it would be planted.
But Proctor found that glass, and Proctor is the only cop who handled that glass, and that glass doesn't match anything in this case. They don't know where that glass comes from, except that it comes from a cop named Proctor. That's the only thing they know about. Am I right about this?
Yeah, there's some disagreement about whether that it conclusively means that it doesn't come from the same glass, or whether it means that they couldn't match it.
Well, no,
because Yes, I know who you're talking about.
That witness was
the
clear
forensic
about it.
analyst was comparing glass to glass and plastic to plastic and trying to compare and make sure that everything had the same source. And that was the chart that I had you show.
Yes.
Well, so there was a lot of people who were saying that line of questioning sort of muddied the waters a little bit, made it less clear what she was actually showing. Because having it match in composition and having it match in terms of like piecing it together like a puzzle piece are two separate columns in her analysis. And they don't know whether both of them are satisfied or none of them are satisfied or one or the other. She says that that it was not, what was the word she used? Like it was not conclusive or something. And so it's a little bit unclear whether she means that it was compositionally comparable, but not a match in terms of it didn't fit into the puzzle piece. We don't know. What I'm saying is that that testimony again added more doubt.
So here's the chart, okay, and these are this is the cup in question right here.
The jury didn't see this today, by the way.
The jury didn't see this today, but here's the cup in question. Here's the bumper glass. And this is glass recovered by Proctor. You can see that on E here. And I think Angela would probably be able to explain this a little bit better. But
probably not. I don't find that
in this
useful.
third column, there are 9 pieces of evidence recovered by this particular cop. And they were able to, these ones that are in green, they were able to connect them to these things. So in other words, they found these parts and they were able to connect these pieces to cut to this cup, for example. So they found glass. Buchanan found 9 pieces, of which of those 9 pieces of glass, A, B, C, D, F, and K were all glass that they could attribute to the cup. That this forensic expert could say, yes, this glass is the same glass. And she, in fact, reconstructed some of that glass to put the cup back together.
It was like 2 levels of testing. She was like, okay, the glass is consistent with glass that would be made into a cup. Like we know it's the same material.
So this here,
but we don't know whether it matches.
Shows that the cup 712, that's the evidence number, collected by Proctor, which he collected here. These do not match. They do not match.
The reason why this is brought up today was because Alessi, for the defense, the attorney was asking Judd Welcher more about how he was biased. And he was like, okay, you said that you assumed that the glass had struck the car. Why did you assume that? There was glass found at the scene, but why did you assume that the glass struck the car? And Judd Welcher was saying, well, I did just assume because there was glass. I know that there was glass found on the bumper and there was glass found at the scene. And so I just assumed that it had somehow struck the bumper.
Yeah.
And Leslie had to be like, but you don't know that. Nobody here none of the forensic analysis have been able to conclude anything like that. That's a story that you've told. Is that correct? You know, like so he made him admit to the jury that he is basing so much of his analysis on an assumption that he just made by comparing glass here to glass there without anybody actually explaining.
It was dramatic.
Factually.
I thought it was a dramatic moment.
I thought so too. I thought there was another way that it was a good witness for the defense, but we don't know how the jury is going to handle all this. You know, like I feel like, you know, maybe it's my own confirmation bias. I think she's innocent, and so a lot of these witnesses are helping to prove her innocence. But I don't know whether the jury feels that way.
Here's why I think that the defense is winning, and I think they won their case. I think they won their case as far as a hung jury goes. I think they won their case during the prosecutor's presentation, because you can't make sense of the fucking injuries in the arm. This guy tried to, and he got kind of made a fool out of it.
He got really flustered.
Yeah, he got flustered, and he ended up. And I'll tell you this, which is interesting, because even if he truly believes in his heart that these injuries were caused in the manner that he tries to demonstrate by doing this 2-mile-an-hour nonsense drive.
He was like, blue paint transferred onto my arm. So there you go. Open shut case.
So, and we've played that. We've played that content
so
for you guys a few times now. But where was I going with this? Even if he believes that that this is true, that this event actually occurred. He knows that Alessi did a really effective job at casting doubt into whether or not his word or his experiment, his test, as he liked to call it, can be taken seriously. So I thought it was fascinating that way.
Leo Edits has a great question.
Yes, Leo Edits.
Will you ever make an episode talking about your trial?
We're gonna do way more than an episode. We're gonna do a full deep dive.
You didn't have a trial.
You couldn't talk about my, huh?
You didn't have a trial.
It would be my case. We did not have a trial. That's a good.
You wanted a trial.
Oh, I still do.
I still do. Yeah. But hopefully you'll get your trial.
We're gonna do the Don's Plum case for sure.
Yep.
And look,
I have it all organized.
We're gonna bring that in.
Spent like 2 years doing it, so it's gonna happen.
It's coming. Yeah, we're gonna bring everything we can to bear for that one. Let me tell you, we're gonna do that one up. That's Cinderella at the ball. That one.
Yep.
Let me tell you that.
It's gonna be too.
Thank you for asking, and thank you for coming along for the ride too. It will be. I believe it's gonna be hella fun. You hear me? Hella fun. So what else we got? So the jury, they got the half day off, and so tomorrow will be day one for the defense.
I'm gonna sneeze. How do I sneeze here?
Yeah, away from the mic, Angela. I could try to mute you. I can't mute you individually. I don't think.
Of course, now it's like I chased it away.
It's subsiding.
Now I chased it away. Now it's just gonna bother me. I'm going to have the feeling I need to sneeze for like the next 20 minutes.
Dr. Susan said she'd find the depositions interesting if read out loud. Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll go through those highlights. We're going to do a real prep. Like the first, just so, for those of you who are been around for a while and who are wondering what the fuck we're doing, we're going to, ultimately what I'm doing is I'm busting my ass to get us set up technically, so that we can have the best quality of everything possible, so that we can bring to these lives the content that we want to end up publishing on the channel, on the various social medias. And so I don't want to read the book or the deposition, do all that until I know that I've technically come over all my obstacles.
Erica's asking, what is the best way to buy your book?
Oh, thank you for asking, Erica. Well, the best way is to get the 20% off and do it at the website. So just go to I think there's a link here on YouTube in my channel description or whatever, but it's tworealbook.com, and you just type in, and then if you're choosing a paperback, 2real20 in the discount code, and you'll get 20% off, which will cover most, if not all, of the shipping. That's the best way for sure. And by the way, if you want it signed, I'll sign them. They're right here. Oh, you can't see that. Let me do my solo shot. So yeah, I got a bunch. I got 100 or so of these laying around the house, and I'd be glad to sign one for you if you want one. Absolutely. I think you'll enjoy it. There's some people here who have read the book tonight. If you want any reviews, I'm sure somebody will tell you all about it. But thank you for asking. That's very kind of you. Anyway, so what else do we got? Angela edited the book, by the way.
Are you still solo?
No. Why, were you gonna flash me or something?
I was gonna pick my nose.
Angela.
I won't.
It's live.
I won't anymore.
We're live.
I know.
That's
what I used to be able to do all the time before I went on camera. I was just back here picking my nose. Oh, it was great.
Picking my nose, ladies and gentlemen. Picking my nose. So anyway, so any other questions? Do we have any other questions? I'd love to see the depositions read out loud. Yes, that would be fun. What else do we got here? Will you ever make an episode about that trial? Well, it's not a trial. Definitely going to do that. I think her interview, said Erica, are the best evidence that the Commonwealth has. Though all of those clips are clearly edited and out of context. I think that they're going to have a party with it. In a bit of a party with it. I was a party with it. Again, it's just another situation where every time you look at any part of the evidence that the Commonwealth put forward, it's like you can say, oh, this was good evidence or that. But did it convince anybody irrefutably, undoubtedly, that this woman with intent took this man's life by hitting him with a car and leaving him to die in the snow?
I cannot imagine that somebody who is not convinced that she is responsible for this becomes convinced because they hear a clip of her being like, I don't know, what happened to him? Did I clip him with my car? Did I strike him in the knee? I have no idea. Did I like manage to somehow not see him and back into him? Like, I don't know.
I got to tell you, it's kind of a lesson for anybody who like might find themselves in a kind of a similar situation, because this is something I would have 100% done.
Never,
especially
ever talk.
Especially if I was drinking and driving, I'd be like, did I do this? Did I? Of course I would be. The question had to occur to her if she's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
If she's innocent, meaning innocent of second-degree murder. If she's innocent of second-degree murder, there's no doubt she's going to, in that one clip that was played for the jury, I believe it was, I forget the interview specifically in terms of like, you know, who's conducting the interview, but in it she said that she what was it she said specifically? I kind of lost it, but look, there are many times where she contextually sounds like she's being like an everyday person. Like I can't believe there's not at least one person out of those 16 jurors or 18 jurors, and out of the 12 that remain and assume will make it to deliberation, that not one of those people aren't going to recognize that as a panic response to a situation that's obviously grave and horrible.
Yeah.
Like I would immediately suspect myself if I was sober. If I was stone cold fucking sober, I would be like, did I do this? Why are you laughing?
Because you were funny, but also because I'm really hoping that we get a dog cam, because I feel like everybody should delight.
I got it right there. I just need to. I'm working on.
Everybody should delight in how our dog goes to sleep and then starts like kicking and running.
Yeah, we're gonna go to dog cam. Trust me.
Just so I shut up about it, right?
Are you gonna see her? Are you gonna see Bring Her Back this weekend? What's that?
Oh, it's a horror movie.
I don't go to the movies because of COVID, bro.
I'm so glad that there's so many like indie horror movies or small budget horror movies that are making it to the theaters. That's so
What's
rad.
it called? Bring Her Back?
Bring Her Back. Yeah, it's by the same people that did what was that one that we saw about it was like this this weird like mummified hand, and they held the hand, and then like their eyes turned all black, and then they saw spirits, and they went
we saw this
across the veil. We saw the last one that these filmmakers did.
Oh,
I think it's the same guys.
Well, let's see. It's directed by the Filipao brothers.
Yep, that's them. What was the last one called? Somebody in the chat's probably answering.
Let's see. Together, Eddington. Talk to Me.
Talk to Me. We saw that one. Did you like it?
I don't remember it, so yes, I loved it.
Look up Talk to Me, and then you'll recognize it when you see the people.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I like the performances.
Dr. Susan said, "I need a dog cam."
The dog cam's coming. Wait till you see it. Wait till you see her. As soon as I got the TikTok all sorted, which might be tomorrow.
She's kind of boring. She just sleeps, but I just feel like she'd make such a great mascot. And then when she's dreaming, everybody can delight in how she's kicking her little paws.
I delight in her every day. She's such a lovely dog. You guys are gonna love her. She wears pants.
She's a special needs dog, so she has to wear pants.
She wears pants.
For the first few years that I had her, I was like really in denial about how my dog had to wear pants, you know?
No, I call them diapers, and you were like, they are not diapers. They are pants.
So they're all like, I tried to like match her coat, you know, and like make them invisible. But then the last time we ordered some, I was like, fuck it. So I just gave her like really bright, like tie-dye and like leopard print. And now she's this sassy diva.
By the way, I forgot to tell this story, and I don't know if I saved it. It's not just a story. People are dropping dead in show business. Like
why you gotta end on a downer?
I was
bro?
like, I was on Variety yesterday.
What happened?
And there was just like everybody was dying. There was like all these
people.
What
do you mean? I haven't heard of any of this.
Oh God, I gotta find them. Like I'm telling you, like if the person who played Chucky.
The person who played Chucky?
The voice of Chucky?
Okay, this is the first I've heard that anybody played Chucky.
Deed.
Oh, the voice of Chucky.
Yeah, Deed. At 61 years old, I think. And there's like another like really big like important person that died. Like not big important, but like somebody would be like, really? It's going to be like, you know how sometimes when you watch In Memoriam and you're like, what? No way. Shit. How come people didn't talk about that?
Are we going to have an In Memoriam segment on Two Real year-end extravaganza?
No, you never know. I mean, that's a good idea, actually.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, talking about the people that died.
I always feel like they go too fast, so maybe when we do it, we can take a little bit of
We're gonna do it
for each one.
We're gonna have an In Memoriam at the end of the year for sure. I think that's a wonderful idea.
I always feel bad that they're like everybody just applauds.
I think we should allow us to add some people that didn't die, that died
What?
prior to that year, but that we weren't able to get to because we weren't around as podcasters or whatever you want to call us.
You were gonna say people that didn't die, but
that we want to die.
I don't know.
We could have in memoriams for people who want to die. I'll give one for Toby every year. I don't.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
I don't truly want him to die, but I would gladly give like a eulogy to him every single year.
It would be in memoriam, Tobey Maguire.
We should do that.
And it would be like, instead of the brackets for the years of his life, it would be like in Dale's dreams.
We got to do this because like people will people will react to it.
Oh no, come on, you can't do that because if
100%.
something bad actually happens to him, you're like suspect number one.
No, I'll put it like like how they put like the fucking commercials that are meant to persuade you into believing that somebody's in a situation that they're not actually in, because at the bottom it says in the finest print ever that if you have to get your fucking hands and knees and like crawl to the TV and like squint to see it, and it says these are actors portraying
actor
reenactments or whatever. No, not even actor reenactments. These people are not real. These situations are not real. Let's put that there. I'm gonna. It's so cool because these are like some of our most intimate friends here tonight. So, Brad Dourif. Somebody just brought up Brad Dourif. Oh, Brad Dourif better not have died. That would kill me. No, he didn't die. Brad Dourif is not dead. It's not Brad Dourif.
Yeah, don't fuck me up like that.
No. Don't mess with my brain.
Is
he the voice of Chucky?
He is a treasure.
It's definitely a Brad Dourif. I would know if Brad Dourif died. I would be here practically sobbing if it happened. Let's see. News. It's not
Maybe he's the voice of Chucky. Nope. He lives. He's 75.
Ed Gale, the actor best known for playing Chucky in Child's Play and Child's Play 2, passed away at 61. His name is Ed Gale.
Why is
Dourif?
Why is Brad Dourif
breathes.
Brought up in the Chucky movies? What
did
he play?
Brad Dourif. I guess he might have played some Chucky. I don't know.
Does Brad Dourif still voice Chucky? He voices him now.
Yeah, this guy voiced him for those two specific movies.
It's a whole thing.
Anyway, so these people are dying. Me. I know. I immediately had to okay, I got to go search for Brad Dourif now. Because that way I would have missed Brad Dourif. He's like one of my favorites. And he was that guy. Most people don't even know who he is, but now he kind of people do.
I love him.
Oh yeah. I love him desperately. So yeah, I have to pay more attention to this, but we do, I think, got to do an in memoriam. And I love the idea of doing like in memoriams. These are just people we wish were dead.
That's a terrible idea.
It's wonderful.
I was laughing.
Why can't we? I
was laughing because I thought it was a terrible idea.
No, it's a great idea. It's a wonderful idea.
First of all, your podcast.
I could do Toby every year.
Your podcast is titled "Too Real." Okay, so,
right.
Come on.
So then we put this is not too real. This is too fake.
It would be funny if it was just always him, though. Did you see that there's Twitter accounts, and their whole job is to tweet each day about whether or not some person that we all universally hate has died or not?
I love that.
So the guy who runs the Twitter account for Mitch McConnell is every day he tweets, no, not yet. and then every time Mitch McConnell falls really badly, he's like, watch this space.
I've always wanted to do. That's hilarious. I always wanted to do this. This. I'll get. It's a little dark, a little morbid in one way, but in the other way, but in another way, it's fascinating. So when I was going through my depression, I had this horrible ideation.
No, let's not talk about.
Don't go there.
No,
just drop it.
It's a really bad idea.
Okay, but I wanted to reenact it.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
Oh fuck.
I know this story, and I've just spared you guys.
You just got spared. Brad is the voice of Chucky.
Yes.
The actor that died is the dwarf that wore the suit. Well,
they're
literally saying, I'm like,
pollen.
So sorry.
It's pollen.
Yeah, I know. There's no air in Georgia. There's only pollen.
I know. It's we go from tree pollen to grass pollen.
It's the most pollen I've ever consumed in my life. It's like a meal. It's like a daily meal.
I know.
What I saw said that he played Chucky, but I am not an expert in any of these matters. So I was just saying.
I didn't even know he existed until he was dead. There's
a lot of people dying. We're not getting the the skinny mini, Dr. Susan. Oh. All right, you guys. It's after 9. You guys have been wonderful. We are back on tomorrow. And I think by Monday we might be, sort of stepping up our game a little bit if I can continue on. So I'm so glad that you guys are sticking through all of our adjustments as we start this journey. We are now 13 YouTube lives in, and I think we've improved quite a bit. Don't you?
Yes.
You're so lovely. We are all so lucky to have you. Thank you for...
Stop. I'll crawl back into my hole if you guys don't stop.
Thank you for being with us, Angela. I really do enjoy this so much because you're so fun to talk to. And I think everyone
I love
agrees.
talking to you too.
And having you guys around is just truly a privilege.
Yeah,
so we're
really
so
fun.
grateful to have you. Thank you
The
for spending...
input today, as every day,
Top
has
shelf?
been so helpful.
Yeah, it was very top shelf.
We learned so much.
I like very top shelf as a phrase.
The tippy toppest.
Very, very top shelfist. Right up there with the Grey Goose.
It's the platinum.
It's the platinum stuff. It's
yeah. What is it in liquor? It's
Johnny
like,
Walker Blue.
Like platinum, and then there's like classic. No.
25-year Macallan.
I can't remember.
75-year Macallan.
I haven't bartended in a long time. I used to know all the stupid made up grades. They're fake anyway.
I think my stars are going to be done, Dale. What does that mean? Your stars? Are we talking astrology?
Stars are going to be done.
We don't talk astrology much anymore. Did you give up?
There's a lot of astrology haters. I've just decided...
You don't want to chase people away because of our astrology?
I don't know, you know.
We believe in the moon and we believe in the sun. We believe in Mercury and we believe in Mars. We believe in Uranus and we believe in Pluto.
It's not even really about belief. It's just a philosophy. So it's like saying to somebody that they should...
We subscribe to many of the philosophies related
it's
to
like
the
if I went
events.
to like any of these like, these like, men's YouTubers and was like, your stoicism doesn't have any scientific basis. Your
stoicism doesn't have any scientific basis. It's hilarious. I would love to get a shirt with that. Your stoicism has no scientific basis.
My favorite thing with those guys when they like try and like hate on astrology for no fucking reason is to let them know that the ancient Stoic philosophers were astrologers too. Like,
I love hearing from people who read Meditations for the first time and they're acting as if it's a fucking new release. We're like, I read this book, man. It's really intense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really? What was it?
It gave you permission not to feel after all the time that you've been shoving down your emotions. Like, good for you, bro.
This is a real conversation. Yeah, I read this book, man. Really amazing book. Oh, yeah. Which one? Book called Meditations. Oh, yeah, Meditations. You know of it? Yeah, right, like 25 years ago.
It's a classic.
It's been around for a while, like
a little while, yeah.
Several thousand years. What is it, like 2,000 years? Whatever. When was Aurelius around? I don't even know. It was like not long after the death, right?
Yeah, he was in the triple digits.
Oh. The Dallas Stars, Erica. I have not been following. I'm sorry.
Of course, we went to astrology because
I had a feeling that Edmonton was going to take that series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's what I want. I want Dallas to lose. They beat the Jets, and I want a Canadian team to win the cup.
Do you think you'll get your wish?
No, I don't. I don't feel like I'll get my damn wish, bro. It's hard to be a fan, but then again, the Phillies are the best in the West. East.
It is hard to be a fan. I feel like the most stressful I ever see you is involving sports.
These days. Isn't that good? What a luxury.
You're an intense fan.
I can be.
It's serious.
Yeah. Well, I love sports. I love stretching yourself to the absolute ends of the earth to get something done. Yes, we can do your chart, Cosmic Urgency. Cosmic Urgency just asked us to do a chart.
Sweet.
We'd be glad to. We're very serious about it though. So we're not like entertainers in that respect. Although it's for entertainment purposes, so you can't fucking sue me about it. You know what I'm saying? But we'd gladly do that. DM me. How do you do that?
I don't know.
How do you do that on YouTube? Can you do that on YouTube?
DM you?
Yeah. How do we get into direct contact with people on YouTube?
Okay. I don't know. Maybe he can figure it out. But what we need from you, Cosmic Urgency.
Yes. Date of birth.
Your date of birth.
Date and time.
And location.
Exact. To the minute, if possible. And if it's not to the minute, then it may not be accurate.
Date of birth, time of birth, and location.
Yeah. We'll do your chart. 100%. That'd be so fun for us. We've done a few. Did we do Dr. Susan's? We did Delicates. We just kind of did an overview. Delicate's gone, I think, but all right, you guys. You're too fabulous. I'm going to kill the TikTok because Jenna's gone. You guys are lovely. I love you guys. Good night. All right, guys. YouTube, You're wonderful. We'll see you tomorrow, I hope. But we'll be back on at 7 p.m. or shortly before. Good night.
Good night.
See you guys tomorrow.